As I suspected, 32 flavors.
What?
How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Toxic Tuesday. Tonight, we're gonna live together, we are ride together, and we are die together. Bad boys for life. Nice to see you all, Cohen's Ghosts. Welcome. How you doing? Pop Culture Minefield, Das Wolfen, Boosh McFadden, D-Bud Martin. How are you? Hey, there he is. Dustin, how you doing, Dustin? Rudy, how you doing, dude? Oh my God, Pat S. Hey, Pat, if you want to come on, let me know, dude. And you have flavor number 22, Mad Mardigan Volleyball. Oh, dude, T-Butt. Oh, that's freaking gross. Oh, that's nasty. Hello, Sherry, Rob Altus, and the Brahma Bull himself. Welcome, guys, to Toxic Tuesday. I'm going to bring in our usual suspects, Mr. Mark D with a C.
Hey, what's up? We had a nice cold day here today in the Northeast. So
20
degrees.
Really?
Well, I mean 20 degrees. Not. I guess it's all relative, right? So I don't know what it was like in Chicago, but after the weekend, freezing. So yeah, looking forward to Toxic Tuesday as usual, and getting that slideshow ready, and I'll make sure there's hopefully no mistakes this week. Hopefully nothing slips through the crack.
I don't feel like there wasn't stuff like that in Bad Boys. I'm like.
That was a much safer
Blues.
movie for me to take stills from.
So how's it going, Mark? Really quickly before we bring our next, how's everything going?
Yeah, going good. And got a couple of videos out. We were talking before the show about how much work it is to do YouTube. It was much fun as just some short videos. But it always, it's like any home improvement project, any YouTube video. It's just going to be a 10-minute video, and it always turns into like 40, the work turns into 45 minutes or something goes wrong, or it's all fun. We're doing this for fun, but it's it's all good. So back to work after the Super Bowl. So I'm a Giants fan, so I wasn't too upset either way. But nice to see the underdogs win, I guess, but which didn't happen. But I made my chili. I had tons of chili, so if you were here, you would have enjoyed some of that.
Oh, dude,
did you make chili?
When we, I like. All right, this is my hot take here. I like no bean chili because I'm that guy. So
you like con carne?
Okay, fine.
Right?
I yield. I yield, Mark. I yield.
Like yeah, no, that's true. It's like, you make chili. Like, well, why's all these damn beans in here? It's like, well, chili is the chili beans, right? But yes, I made my daughter's a vegetarian. Don't tell anyone. Just kidding. But so I made a batch of vegetarian chili and then a batch with mostly meat. Few beans escape through. So you would have liked that version.
I would have liked the meat version. That's what she said. All right. I see Mr. Dragon dropped on in. Deleted scenes. Imperatus, what's up, guys? Nice to see you here. And I'm going to bring in basically my editor. Ooh, sounds freaking fancy now. He is the visionary and one who really captures my mindset and my humor. And he hails from the up north. You know him, and you are in love with the Yeti cast.
I'm questioning our professional relationship ever since you said you don't like beans in your chili. There's a few things I can stand, but I mean there's a line, and you gotta draw it.
Oh, Dustin agrees with me.
Start a bean war here.
A bean war. This is what we come to in 2022. This is the new debate: beans or no beans in chili. Well, maybe there'll have to be a stream a bean debate.
Well, Clobbering Times agrees with you too. I know that.
Oh, so does he?
He doesn't like the beans in the chili. Yep.
We need to figure out how to do a chili cook-off.
Oh, dude, I suck at cooking. You guys would all kick my ass. I'd be in last place. No, for real, you'd all would kick my ass. That's just the bottom line. I just eat the things and hope that it's good. That's what I'm hoping. So that's just me, though. So
maybe because your lack of culinary expertise, you don't understand why what you're eating sucks.
What, high
You mean without the
beatings and-
chili?
Yeah,
Without the
The
beans?
audacity of this man. The audacity of this Yeti cast. That's it. You're getting a pay downgrade for this shit. I've had enough of your intolerance. You're fucking getting a downgrade, and you're still gonna do more work.
you can't
anyway.
fire me. I quit.
No. All right, we're gonna bring our other gentleman here, guys. Well, Tom Connor's here real shortly, but we got one half of the report to Echo Base, Mr. Nick from the Echo Base Network.
What's going on, fellas? Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here. I love this movie, so it should be a fun conversation.
Awesome. Hey, I appreciate you coming. I know I said it before, but always fun to say in public as well. Taking the time. Once again, we have the life, so any time to take to talk about something awesome and cool and toxic is always a beautiful thing. So I appreciate it, Nick.
Yep.
Since we're I obviously you're new here to the Toxic Tuesday. This is our 33rd, 34th episode mark. I can't remember.
It's a lot.
It's a lot now. So what we do is we always ask everyone about their life story. And since this is your first time on here, why don't you talk about your first experience with Bad Boys, Nick?
So I remember seeing previews for this movie back in the 90s. And I already liked I already watched Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and I watched Martin, and so I was like, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence like teaming up in a cop movie like Beverly Hills Cop or something. I was like, this movie looks awesome. So I went to the theater and saw it, and I really enjoyed it. It was also Michael Bay's very first feature film. Anybody that did not know that, he did music videos and stuff prior to doing this, and this was his first one. So I thought he did a great job. I still love this movie to this day.
That was his first one. I thought it was
Directorial
something else.
debut. No,
Yeah.
this was his directorial debut.
Oh, damn. Okay.
That's where all the explosions started.
Yeah.
Well,
Why did it go so far downhill from this?
That is funny you asked about that. Because it's funny. When I was looking at some of the like features on this particular movie, Nick, Yeti, Mark, and literally Michael Bay, along the lines of these words, this is not a little quote, but along the lines, he says he is not. This is the movie he's least proud of, which is very ironic. And yet he says he would have made a much better movie out of this today. I don't agree. As much as I love this movie to death, I strongly disagree with that comment. With the way he's gone since then, the idea that he has said the movie would be so much better now, I'm like, bro, I am not with that.
He did. Okay, so Bad Boys, and then The Rock, then Armageddon, like 3 back-to-back, like great films. Okay, then Pearl Harbor. I remember that kind of sucking.
Oh,
Bad
that
Boys
was
2.
Yeah, that made money, I think, though, didn't it?
Pearl Harbor was Bay?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I
that was.
did not know that. Wow.
I just remember there being like a lot of crying and stuff, and I don't know. I haven't seen it in a long. So it seems like the real downturn was around as soon as he did Transformers. That seems like
explains a lot.
Yeah, it was sometime right around then. Yeah.
Of course, you could argue Transformers is probably his most successful movie. As much as I mean, I don't like him. I don't know. I'm assuming most of you guys don't like him either. I mean, other than the crazy spectacle and some eye candy. I mean, they're really not the best. Best movies.
Looking at his filmography, I kind of thought he did more films. It's not like there's a lot to hate on here.
There's some tragedies there, but that's obviously a story for.
Click on the producer one.
Yeah, the producer side. Yeah, that.
Hi,
he's
Tom.
producing the next
That's
the raid. Ooh, please don't screw that one up.
Oh, so okay. What did you have anything else you want to add, Yeti?
Well, he produced A Quiet Place.
Oh, he produced. I knew he.
At least one of them. I had no idea he was involved with that.
I did not know that. See, I never saw A Quiet Place, and I knew obviously it did pretty good, and I know they put out the sequel was like a year. No, actually half a year ago. Half a year ago, man, time flew by. Holy shit! It's like to think that even like No Way Home was already 2 months ago. Damn, time flies, dude. Well, since you're talking, Yeti, why don't you talk about your Bad Boys experience?
No, sorry. This filmography is just blowing my mind right now because it's almost like he's got more hate than he deserves. Like there's some good films in there, and I did not think it. Man, I am just confused by this because it seemed like he was making really bad films for like decades now. But, anyways, I don't remember the first time I saw this movie. It had to be. What? So this came out in the 90s, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
95.
So I don't think I saw it on its release. I think it would have been a little bit later. Would have been going into high school, university. I think would have been the first time I saw this.
So okay, so all right.
I just remember like being so surprised because like, oh god, action flick with like Will Smith, and then you get Martin Lawrence. Like, okay, this is good, and then just watching it on repeat.
Oh, yes. No, I'm in a similar boat. I don't have the greatest recollection. I was already a Will Smith fan, and I was already a Martin Lawrence fan. Now, I do know that I saw this movie, though, after a few of their other movies, because, like, obviously I knew Fresh Prince. I knew of, obviously, Independence Day, which obviously came after this film. It was just my order of some of the Smith and Lawrence stuff was a little out of order, and I love Big Mama's House when it came out, which is basically the 2000s version of Mrs. Doubtfire. And then I remember, I think I may have, if my memory serves correct, which don't quote, like I could be off on this, but I think it was maybe a year before Bad Boys 2 hit the cinemas in 03. And
I'm thinking that too.
A friend of mine's like, hey, you ever watch Bad Boys? I'm like the show, like because of the cops, I automatically, my brain defaulted to, oh, you must be talking about cops, and then I'm like, no, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, Bad Boys, like they did a movie, and there's a sequel coming out, and yeah, I think that's right around the time I saw it, and I remember, of course, I love how well these two meld together. These two, like, their back and forth banter is great, and obviously they got the trope of one's got one lifestyle, the other's got the other, because it's kind of almost like Lethal Weapon. You got Will Smith, he's the player, he's the pimp daddy guy. He's got the big nice hotel room. He lives all fancy high life. He's got the nice cars. He's suave. He's calm, cool, and collected. And his character, he's Mike Lowry. And then you got Marcus Burnett, who's suburban life, he's married, and as he says that, he's like, we sleep on the same bed, but I ain't getting any. He's like
the everyman, the blue.
He's lying about married life. I just have to say that right now.
Oh, Mark just told.
He's lying. Damn these lies.
I don't know what y'all are talking about. This movie doesn't exist.
Damn it.
There was no strong black men in movies before 2016. We all know this.
Oh,
what?
Yeah, we were told that.
No positive black role models at all whatsoever, nor would they ever really be playing cops. I mean, come on.
Yeah, right. Successful black men cops, very badass too, and
would never
funny
happen.
as fuck.
Yeah.
Like very funny as fuck. Like
Asians didn't exist before like 2010 too. That's what we learned.
Yeah.
Well, thankfully we had the Captain Marvel movie. We finally got a strong woman too in a movie. It took a long time. So
long time.
Yeah, I mean, Ripley and Aliens was just behind the scenes, and the men did everything in that movie. So
it's funny.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's funny that the very first scene of the first movie here of them driving in the car, Martin Lawrence is eating that that fat ass burger and fries. Then you see the last movie, and it's like, I guess he never got off that diet. Eating big, huge burgers and fries.
You're right.
Are you predicting that
seriously.
Martin Lawrence's character is going to die of a heart attack in Bad Boys 7?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh no, the scene was prophetic in a way. It really was, because the distance between this and Bad Boys 2 is 8 years.
Yeah.
Well, it was because it was pre Martin Lawrence going crazy and post Martin Lawrence going crazy.
I was gonna say that it was. I think this was like right near the center, because I think he had a few 80s incidents of going crazy too. Like, he was wild, man.
Apparently, I was not paying attention during this time period because I didn't know he went crazy.
Oh, he went crazy.
Yeah, he
it
went
was
on
a sport
some-
for him.
One day he was out naked with a gun in the freeway, waving the gun around.
How did I not hear about this?
Matt
seems-
should know about that.
Because it was
that
chalked
seems
up
like
to
something
heat
you lead with.
exhaustion. That's why.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was that?
It
Tom?
was chalked up to heat exhaustion. That's why.
Yeah.
Heat
That's what
exhaustion
happened.
makes you get naked and wave around guns.
Well, that and probably PCP or angel dust, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about a man here who was under stress. Okay,
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
because the media would never protect a black man in the 90s ever.
No, it's true. Then, it's weird to think, man. And nowadays, he's like, obviously he's not someone obviously who amounted to the fame that Will Smith did. But I feel like in this movie he may have shined even more because he had to play Mike Lowry as Marcus Burnett, because obviously they're I can't remember what the
Well,
guy's
he's technically
position
the
is
star
in the
here.
office.
Here's the
Yeah,
thing
he's
you guys got to
technically the
remember
star.
is
Yeah.
when this movie came out, Will Smith was the Fresh Prince.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Martin Lawrence had a huge hit TV show on Fox. So
Mhm.
Martin Lawrence has headline on this movie. Now the sequel is not the same thing. But yeah, that goes into how I saw this movie, because I was a huge Fresh Prince fan. And of course I liked Martin and shit like that. So like when this movie came out, being a Beverly Hills Cop fan, knowing exactly who Bruckheimer and Simpson were, I'm like, I'm fucking there, dude. Opening weekend, and I saw this and Tommy Boy on the same day.
The same day.
Wow. What
And
a
this
combination.
movie, I'll tell you, man, I walked out of this movie going, that Michael Bay is going places.
Yeah.
I thought it was one of the most well-directed films I'd ever seen.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's like that's what really was confusing me with looking at his filmography. There's like a stacked list at the early parts, and then you get Transformers, but like, man, The Rock and Armageddon and this, like, those were really well directed.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, The
And
Rock.
I don't know what happened. Maybe I guess CGI happened.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he kind
I-
of became the isms, right? That was the problem.
The Bayisms. Yeah. It was all about the Bayisms, and he escalated them. Especially, like, here's one thing. Let's not forget, a lot of the Transformers movies, they did okay in the States, but they were doing gangbusters as the movies kept going overseas. Overseas is where they were banking. Like, I think it was the third or fourth movie only did barely over 200 mil domestically, but overseas was like 600 or 700. Like, they could have released it exclusively out that way, and they would have been fine. That just they eat up those movies. And to be fair, I would have thought it would have been the other way around. Like, I would have imagined the American audience eating up at 700 mil, and overseas doing.
Do you
200, but I
remember
was
the
wrong.
hype leading up to Transformers? Because like that
Oh,
was
it's huge.
Oh,
huge.
huge!
Yeah,
I
it was
I
huge,
saw
yeah.
that first film opening night.
Yeah, like so that was like the first of the live action I guess movies. It was such a big deal to get that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the story is kind of lackluster, but
Mm-hmm.
it was a big deal at the time. And then I don't know what the hell happened with 2. And it just lost it after that.
The magic was gone of seeing Optimus Prime for the first time, and he relied solely on the magic of those characters existing. I mean, that's
Well,
and
it's-
obvious.
There is
and
a
an
story
obvious-
to tell there that he could have
Of
focused on.
course. Of course, no, and there was, but maybe that we'll have to do a Bayism panel for a day to talk about that. Mark, tell us
Yeah.
about your Bad Boys life experience.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think I just met the missus about then, so I don't think I was going to as many movies on the weekends.
Mhm.
But I remember seeing this with my friends probably, like the summer, watching in the summertime, just rent a movie and kick back some beers and have a good time. And yeah, it's a good, great buddy cop movie. And I didn't really expect much going in. And you're like, who's this Fresh Prince guy, right? I mean, you watch the show and he's funny. And
Mhm.
Martin Lawrence, like Tom was saying, was, the big star. But you can see Will Smith's presence in this movie, right? I mean, he's he's really good. They're both awesome together. But you can see
This is
why
where
Will
he
Smith was a
became Will
star.
Smith.
Yeah, he's a cool. He's playing a cool cat. He's got that sex appeal. I don't know. Mad's not here to talk about Will Smith's sex appeal.
No, but this is where he
does,
became
yeah.
Will Smith, because
yeah,
going off of what I was saying, because it was 95, so I didn't have a license yet. So
Yeah.
I had to talk my
Whoa.
cousin into going and see it. He wanted to see Tommy Boy, but he didn't want
Okay.
to see this. I'm
Yeah.
like, come on, I want to see Bad Boys as well. He's like, who's in it? I'm like, Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. He's like, who? I'm like, the Fresh Prince. The Fresh fucking Prince.
is in a cop movie.
Really? Oh man.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, what? No. And he went into this kicking and screaming, and he ended up loving it, of course. But like,
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
and
funny
he was
thing is-
he was still doing Fresh Prince of Bel-Air at the time.
yeah,
And
he
when
had
did
it
that
for
show
like
end?
another
Yeah.
year or two after this. Yeah, he was still doing it during Independence Day as well. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
forget
that was his
now,
next
looking back.
that was his next big movie right after this one was
Yep.
Independence Day.
Day, 96. That was the start, because I remember that was July of 96. I was
Mhm.
living near Chicago when that one came out. And I remember seeing that right away, because
Well,
my
that
dad
was
was like, we got to see
massive.
that. It
Yeah.
was huge when that came out. It was a big deal when that came out. That was, once again, movies like that. Once again, movies like that we don't get today. But oh man, I remember seeing the opening scenes, and right away you get a feel that okay, these guys clearly like this is like a bromance, but with cops. These guys are total like brother types of guys. Like they will give each other shit. They're funny as fuck as they go along. But they're also like, when they get heated to each other, they get heated to each other like brothers do. They are total brother like friendship. This is totally a bromance action movie. That's what I like to see it as, this romantic action movie.
Yeah, real quick fun fact on that is Michael Bay actually, after the script was written and everything for this movie, Michael Bay actually encouraged Will Smith and Martin Lawrence just to improv a lot of the lines in the scenes, like the scene that
Oh, you can tell when Martin is improving.
yeah, like the scene where they're in the convenience store and the guy sees their guns and then pulls his gun on them, and then they've kind of flipped the script on them, and both of them have their guns, and he asked for like some candy or some gum, whatever it was he was asking
yeah.
for. That
Like
was all
bubble gum or
improv that they had just come up with on set.
Well, that's why they're such good actors. Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
right away the movie, works right away, right? You're laughing with them too, and when they're he's like, don't get that shit in my car, and this is one of the fastest cars in the world, and then you find out too, I guess, Will Smith's character is really wealthy, but he's just I guess he's a thrill seeker. He wants to be a cop.
Automobile ain't got no cup holder in it.
Yeah, no cup holder. No, and there's a line like, this.
And
car,
and this when they were doing the script originally, the script was called Bulletproof Hearts, and it was actually,
Bulletproof Hearts. That was
Yeah,
the original name.
That is a
horrible
terrible
name.
name.
Oh
Yeah,
my
and-
God.
and it-
This
and
would
it-
not be a franchise if it was called Bulletproof Hearts.
I think
Well,
it's a Barbara
because there was a
Streisand
movie
movie or
called-
something.
I was gonna
But-
say,
but-
well,
but it
was a
wasn't
Bad
for-
Boys movie. Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
and
a
it wasn't
couple years
Will
before,
Smith
yeah.
and Martin Lawrence. It was Dana Carvey.
Carvey,
and
yeah,
John,
Carvey.
Lovitz.
Was approached, and Carvey was
John Lovitz?
Yeah,
Oh, John Lovitz.
Oh my
I didn't know
God.
about Lovitz. I knew about.
I want to
Carvey.
see that movie.
Carvey's agents.
I'm Mike
Carvey's agents.
Lowry.
Carvey's
Yeah.
agent said, "Don't do it." They said, "Don't do it."
Oh God, that would be a totally different movie with John Lovitz in there. Like not even close to the same thing.
But it
I
worked.
You're talking
I
about
don't
John
know how that would
Lovitz.
turn out.
Fuck Dana Carvey. Lord knows what he would have done.
Oh, Dana Carvey's
Dana
awesome,
Carvey, I
so.
can't.
You have
picture him.
no idea what character he would have come up with.
yeah.
No. All right, we're gonna read a few of the the tip jar super chat. And Toxic Man
Oh,
for
shit.
$10 says, I thought Bad Boys was a drama about a man's struggle with sterility. Martin Lawrence is the most annoying thing on earth, even more than my second ex-wife. Oh my God. I don't agree, but you're entitled to your opinion, and I appreciate the $10. Thank you for that. And I had deleted scenes for $1.99. Says, Hail Nick, panel and chat, heat exhaustion. Happens to me all the time, except I talk to trees. I see what you did there. And we'll do one more Thanos clip.
Popcorn.
And popcorn. RC from the NYC. How you doing, RC? For 10. Nick, hail the panel, hail the chat. Hope everyone's good. We are good, man. And I hope you are even better. Thank you. I appreciate the $10 and deleted scenes. Thank you for the $2 as well. Thank you guys. That was a hell of a good start for the panel. It's not even a half hour in. You guys are on fire. Oh God, I love this because this is where you get to know Mr. Burnett's life.
He's got the Volvo.
Yeah.
And she's cute though. Come on. He says,
Hey,
Will Smith says, yeah, you're sleeping next to a gorgeous woman every night.
Dad, they say my ears are weird at school.
Yeah.
Uncle Mike, everyone's so excited about Uncle Mike. The little do they know that guy, he's basically the godfather in this movie, which is totally what you expect. This is basically my brothers. Like, I've got the family life, and my brothers are still high style and profiling like the Ric Flair, except without being 60 years old. But they got their they got their nice fancy cars. And I see Brian Bart says, what happened to Martin Lawrence's career? You know, to be fair, he's never been as active as Will Smith, even during the 90s. Like, he had his moments. I mean, he did some
dumb movies, yeah.
Yeah, he definitely
Black
did
Knight
some.
was good. Come on, that was a
He did
classic.
Black
You
Knight.
may like him, but that's one of the movies that killed his career.
Yeah,
I
love that movie.
Wild Hogs. I remember he did Wild Hogs with Tim Allen, John Travolta, and I know I'm missing somebody. And I'm trying to think what else. Of course, he did Bad Boys 2 and 3. Yeah, he was never as active, and it could be because he constantly went crazy. I know he did a show with Kelsey Grammer that did like atrociously bad. I think it lasts like one season. I think maybe it didn't even finish. I don't know. I never even watched. I didn't even know it existed until like a few years ago.
Basically, he and Will Smith's career went on opposite trajectories. Like, when they started this film, Martin Lawrence was on top of the world. This is one of his first big movies. He was the star. He had a huge TV show at the time, all that kind of shit.
Mhm.
Will Smith was the Fresh Prince. Like, he was kind of a joke. And then, jump to a year later, 2 years later, 3 years later, it's like the opposite. Will Smith is making the biggest movies of all time. And, next thing up, Martin's making like Blue Streak and Black Knight.
Oh my God.
And shit like that.
Big Mama's House.
In Big Mama's House, which Big Mama's House was a hit.
Funny.
Let's not be wrong.
Yeah, I saw Big Mama's
House
House opening weekend.
But yeah, basically he maintained his career for 20 years on Big Mama's House sequels and the waiting for Bad Boy sequels.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it keeps throwing me off when he say Will Smith was known as like, the Fresh Prince. Like, man, I thought that was a good thing. Yeah, like I thought the Fresh Prince was, an awesome part of his career. I didn't think people looked on that as a negative,
That's what's funny to me about the movie Jersey Girl is I actually got the joke. And I actually give Will Smith credit for allowing them to have fun with it. Because it was true. He was trying to get out from underneath the whole Fresh Prince moniker thing. Because even on his albums as he's Will Smith, DJ Jazzy Jeff is still producing. He just wanted to separate himself from that Fresh Prince thing. Like, to him, it was, he wanted to be Will Smith. He wanted to take it seriously. So, yeah.
Well, plus back then TV and movie stars were totally different too. 95. So we kind of looked down upon to do TV. It wasn't as common as it is now. I mean, it was starting.
Yeah, you had like LL Cool J and Queen Latifah, and that was about it. And Kid and Play. Yeah.
But to go from TV to movies, I mean, you had. Bruce
that was a big deal.
But it was a big deal. Like, there was Before then it was like if you were in TVs, you were never getting movies for.
Don't get me
quote,
wrong,
unquote.
Will earned his way into
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Like, no matter how you feel about him now, he
Yeah.
started out with the music, then he jumped to the Fresh Prince.
Mm-hmm.
He got some acting classes. Because watch the first few episodes of Fresh Prince, it's hilarious. He's mimicking the other people's lines with his lips because he memorized all the script because he was so deathly afraid of not remembering his lines. So he memorized everybody's lines.
Yeah.
And so you can actually see him mouthing their lines in the earlier episodes. But then he went from there to a smaller role in the movie with Whoopi Goldberg and Ted Danson, Made in America, I think it was called. And then he did a really got a lot of critical acclaim, and he almost got a lot of talk that he was going to get nominated, but he didn't, for 6 Degrees of Separation. And I doubt anybody here has seen that.
I have not.
But it's
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's a movie based on the play, but in that he gives a great performance, and that was kind of the next level to him. And just before this, he did that. So then this was his next project after that. So this was kind of him finally launching himself into a big kind of thing. And this was the #1 movie that weekend. It made $15 million in 1995, which is nothing to sneeze at.
No, at the time it was a big deal. I think this movie is around like $20 million, maybe a little less as far as the budget was going. So obviously it didn't take much for it to make its money back, because also there wasn't as much of a, we need to get this movie out worldwide. Back then we were more, independent of like trying to keep our movies within stateside release. Nowadays we want to solely survive on other countries to survive the movie. So Bad Boys did just fine on its own in North America.
Yeah,
And
the $19 million budget on this movie didn't even cover the cost of the final scene at the airport. Michael Bay actually had to pay $25,000 to the studio just to shoot that scene.
That's
out of
right.
his own
Yeah.
pocket.
Wow. Out of his own pocket. Wow.
Yeah.
No, he did. That's true. No, Nick speaking truth there. Oh, I love.
That's because he wasn't Michael Bay yet either.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
That's the thing. This is before, and it's interesting because when I mentioned earlier with Bay, he talked about how he feels like he make a whole much better movie now, and that's the thing. You see this movie here, and you could tell, like, obviously it's not supposed to be this big, mind blowing, super philosophical story, but there's a good, coherent, solid story.
No,
and
it's like a
really
Beverly Hills Cop meets 48 Hours kind of thing, basically.
Yeah. It's about the chemistry between the two guys and their opposite lifestyles and how they collide. And that's fine. That's all it needs to be. It's still coherent. You can still follow along. And there's still a little bit of substance there. Like that's why I don't get where the lack of self-awareness is on Bay's behalf, because he really hit a home run here. He really did. And you obviously got to see that Smith had leading man material, obviously not just with comedy, but with action, because obviously you had Independence Day, and even though it wasn't good, but it just shows you how big his name was becoming. Wild Wild West.
Independence Day
Bad
wasn't
Boys
good?
2. No, I didn't.
West,
I said Wild Wild West.
Oh,
wasn't
okay,
good.
okay.
No, I love Independence Day. I'm just saying, iRobot. All I'm
but
saying is
that song was dank, yo.
Oh, we all know the song, dude. That's another thing. The soundtracks were Men in Black. That's another one. Men in Black was huge. So it shows you
Men in
Smith
Black
is
is
a
huge.
great leading man. Like he's a great action star. Like he knows I carry. He's obviously he's got the charisma, but he's magnetizing to watch on the screen. Like every second you see him, he shines, and he translates genres too, which is great, because sometimes you see a good actor, sometimes they end up just being whatever they do in the main genre they're known for, but he translates. He can be a different character when he needs to be, and I respect the hell out of that.
I think Gemini Man was the first movie that he starred in that didn't debut at #1 at the box office when it came out. He was
Didn't that After Earth movie tank too, though?
He wasn't starring in that though. His
okay.
kid was.
I suppose, yeah.
So I don't think that one counts. I guess it would have been so much better if he was the star in it instead of just giving it to his kid. But that just gives you the star power that he's brought. Like since Bad Boys, every single movie debuting at #1. That is tough to pull off.
Mm-hmm. And to be able to come back too, like obviously Bad Boys 3 right before everything happened in the world situation, it did do very well. It came out in January of all months in 2020, and it still did 200 mil once again domestically, I think at the least, and it did well
It was the biggest
overseas.
movie of 2020, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it
I think
was. Not
so.
that it took much, but
Yeah.
the point being is it still did obviously gangbuster numbers.
Mhm.
Even if you took out that whole but it's 2020, it's
Yeah.
still a great solid number, and it shows you he's still relevant to this day. And that movie was without Michael Bay as well.
Yeah,
He's
that,
in the
yeah,
fucker, though.
yeah. That's why they're doing a fourth one, which is in pre-production right now.
His
Yes,
cameo
sir.
was so bad in that movie. Michael Bay's. It was.
Oh,
so,
is he in the third one? I still never
Yeah,
saw it.
he's in it. It's so cringe.
It's
Oh, I
bad.
bet
yeah.
it is. Does he explode
Haven't
in there
seen the
though?
third one yet.
No, but it's kind of funny because
Oh.
the directors, what they do is they do a okay. I don't want to spoil it too much, but I think it's at, I can't remember what part it's at, but I think it's the wedding bit, and it comes in and swoops around him with his classic swoop around the guys in slow-mo kind of thing.
Mhm.
And when he's giving his little speech, it's like, oh my god, seriously. So yeah, he's got a little cameo in the movie. It's,
He
no,
just
I actually
couldn't let it
enjoyed the
go.
third film quite a bit because I was not a big fan of the second movie. Full disclosure.
Really?
Yeah,
I
I
like
know
the
this is
second
becoming
one.
a common thing, right? Like for some reason, I end up hating some of these sequels, but no, the sequel to me just did not feel like the first movie. I'm like, it felt like all the Bayisms, and it bothered me. I did not like the second film, but retroactively, the third film made the second film better because it picked up characters from the second film and gave them a little bit more and made them mean more and made some of the best scenes in the second film without giving too much away for those who haven't seen the third film yet, even though it's 2 years old now. But yeah, no, I thought the third film was very well done and actually does a good job of introducing somewhat of a new generation without pulling a Last Jedi in the process.
Oh, wow, they're able to do that and still make it good, Tom. That's kind of mind blowing. I mean, between
There's
that
some
and
great
Cobra
payoffs.
Kai.
See, that's the other thing too, is like it made some things pay off from part 2, so that's why it retroactively.
Oh, nice. Wow. So okay, I
Because
really
outside
need
of
to see
the,
3.
there's only 2 scenes I really liked in part 2: the pool
Okay.
scene
Yes.
and the scene with the boyfriend. Because those are the only 2 scenes that really felt like Bad Boys to me. The rest of it just felt like it's like Bad Boys and Friends. Because you notice they've got this fucking like diverse crew with them,
Yes.
and they kind of take up half the screen time. It just kind of gets annoying. It's just like,
And I was just about to say, and deleted scenes beat me to the punch here. It said the second movie was too long. Yeah, it did not
That's
need
the
to
other
be
problem.
2.5 hours. Like I remember, like I enjoyed it. I didn't like love it. Like I love this first movie. This first movie is fantastic. Like it's just
it felt
it's just
kind of
such a-
disconnected too. That was my other problem. But the third film really keys back in on the main characters again. So
like Wonder Woman 84, it just way longer than it should be. Obviously, it's still a better movie than 84. It's just you could have taken a half hour, 40 minutes, and it would have benefited the film greatly. Now, all right, I want to ask you guys about this fall here when Julie takes this fall. And do you how believable do you, I mean, obviously it's the 90s, we just go with it, but if we had to translate this,
She's
how-
dead.
I feel like she would
Unless it was a
die.
diving pool with like a 12-foot deep end. If it's a 5-foot hotel pool, and
Yeah,
she's
that
not one of those
water
stunt
does not-
divers like Rodney Dangerfield at Back to School.
that's a
She's
little high,
toast.
yeah.
Yeah.
That water does not look that deep. That looks like it's like maybe a 4 or 5 foot pool. I'd imagine she face planted right on there and smack dab
And
like
she's
Gwen
not going
Stacy
straight
in
down
Amazing
there. She's-
Spider-Man 2.
Belly
pretty-
flopping there.
It's pretty fortunate for her that she does kind of have a masculine build, so they could just use a man as a stuntman here.
Ouch.
I'm gonna say it. She's not an ugly woman, but she does have a bit of
Yeah.
a manly build to her.
Yeah,
She was actually
Yeah.
looked pretty cute in this movie.
Yeah, she's a very
Yeah,
good looking woman. Yeah,
great.
yeah. She actually got knocked out in this film doing one of the stunts with one of Martin Lawrence's stunt doubles and had to go to the hospital. She got
got
I
hit,
know that.
clocked in the face with the rifle and right in the jaw.
Oh, that's
with the
right, yeah.
stock end of AK-47.
Well, and to put in perspective, when this movie came out, like these kind of action, like that's what I love about this movie is it feels like a throwback to 80s action films, and when it's only
Yes.
5 years into the 90s. But you guys got to remember, Last Action Hero had kind of disappointed and flopped 2 years before this. Pulp Fiction was less than a year old, so action had kind of taken a completely different direction. And there really hadn't been a lot of action movies like this. And at that time, I mean, Michael Bay and Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer doing this movie was like their classic style stuff. And for those who don't know, like Don Simpson and Bruckheimer owned the fucking 80s. They like almost all your favorite movies, they produced them.
Yeah.
Everything from Top Gun to Beverly Hills Cop to Flashdance, like they were involved with so many movies in that time period. And I believe this was the last movie that Don Simpson was alive all the way through, if I'm not mistaken, because I believe he died during the making of The Rock, which is the year after this, right?
It was not too much later after this movie, whether it was
Yeah, I
making
think
The
this
Rock.
was his last full movie that he worked on, but yeah.
No, you are right. Correct. And if I recall correctly, like another funny thing to mention, like between these guys are messing with crime scenes, between the dead body that they found at the house earlier and this, they're totally messing up with the crime scenes. It's, obviously, people are like,
Yeah,
hey, they're messing with the crime scenes.
They're
remember
narcotic.
someone
They're
saying that.
narcotic cops. They're not fucking homicide.
Yeah.
Because that's the whole joke of the dead body before. Remember?
Yeah, Martin Lawrence is gonna get sick. Yeah.
Like, are they even allowed to do that if they're not detectives?
Well, they're technically narcotics detectives, but yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. Considering, like, I think Nick's right. I think they'd have to consult with the homicide detectives.
Yeah. He messed up our crime scene.
Like, would in today's logic, the bad guy would go free because they fucked it up? Like, that's what would happen.
Oh, that would. Yeah, that would. That'd be a
You
huge
got a
deal.
point.
They're
It could be
maybe
considered
even they're
tampering with
barely
evidence
cops.
in a way.
Yeah, and they're
Well, that's
threatening
what it is.
witnesses. They're threatening witnesses in one scene too, right? I mean, God,
Okay, I take it back. There's one
other.
other. I just remembered one other bit that does make me laugh in the second Bad Boys when Martin ends up taking the fucking ecstasy, and he's like kissing and hugging everything, and
God.
and Will's trying to hide the fact that he's fucked up. Those are the three parts of the second film I enjoyed because those felt most like Bad Boys, but the rest of it just felt like a generic fucking Michael Bay action movie.
And then that was the rest of history for Michael Bay, and so the explosions became. But obviously,
we're shitting on him. But yeah, like this movie though, it blew my fucking mind when it came out because this was like classic action movie, but at the same time, it was cut and shot unlike any other action movie, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's the one thing he does so well is the shooting it clean. Like the perspectives that he get, it's always beautiful. Like it's always really well done in that regard.
Especially the first one. This one is very well shot. Like honestly,
Look at that scene is good shot there. Yeah, like
I was gonna say, I would
Shot's a
argue that
good
this is
shot,
Michael
yeah.
Bay's best looking movie ever. Period.
Oh, I'd agree 800%. And no, it does look like a beautiful looking like movie. And even now that we're say Nightfall. So we're 27 years into this movie. Holy shit. This came out
27.
27
Yeah,
years, and
Wow.
Mike and
Damn.
Will Smith has not aged at all well. It looks like Martin Lawrence went to a hot dog eating contest and didn't invite me. And that's I take exception to, Martin. You should have invited me because that's some bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah,
You
you're
should have
right.
invited
Hot dog.
me.
You're right because it's been almost 20 years since the second one.
Well, you can tell
Yeah.
because they got my cell phone in the movie a couple times again. So like the bad guys have it. They all have it. And you notice in the Porsche they got the cell phone in the car. So see, us old farts weren't lying about having a cell phone built into the car. Yep.
And I think people were using pagers in this movie
Yeah, and
also.
the pages too. Yeah, the pages. Yeah.
Yeah, Mike's got one going off
Pagers.
constantly. Or not Mike, but Mark.
Just once, I want to see one of those cell phones like stop a bullet. The guy's got it in the pocket.
This
and-
sucker would. I mean, it's
Yeah,
like-
it strikes that thing. The phone saved his life.
Okay.
Here's a great plot point right here because this really is what changes this movie from just being a standard,
Cop
typical
movie.
cop
Buddy
movie
cop.
to here's the main point of the plot, right? He has to pretend to be Will Smith. And
Mike
normally-
Lowry.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
you.
Like it's such an asinine idea, but it works so well for the plot, right?
Yeah.
Because
Mhm.
being Mike, like it totally works. It's a hilarious kind of little bit, but it works throughout the film until she finally figures it out. It's great.
Yes,
Yeah.
no, I love
And
it.
then
He's
the
like,
wife
I'm
comes
Mike
to kill us.
Lowry. I'm Mike Lowry. Like, and I like how he always has to always practice the voice. I'm Mike Lowry. And seriously, like when I had seen this back in the day, like I would practice that on my own spare time. I'm Mike Lowry, and she's going bazonkers, dude, about like, yeah, like, and I remember like she's dude. At times, she's somewhat of the weakling where she tries to get a luxury about her eating lifestyle. Why are you eating that bologna sandwich, guys? Like, what are you doing? I didn't ask for that. What? No, that you just eat the pickle. Man,
It's hard to
I
believe.
did not follow any of that.
Well,
It's a
it's
woman
obvious-
for you, Nick Weiser.
Isn't this her
No.
first?
You're wearing an
movie,
Oscar
too?
Mayer baloney shirt right there, right? I mean, did you
Oh
plan that for
shit! Yeah, I
tonight?
am. No, I did not. I did not plan that. That was just.
Yeah, here, let's see that shirt, right? Yeah. So Nick is, see, right? You tell her to stuff it, right? Yeah. I'm eating
Oh,
my
I went
bologna.
back. All right, fucking stuff it. All right, ballpark Frank, bitch.
Now, isn't this her first movie?
I do
I
not know if it was
don't
her
even
first.
remember who she is.
Tay Leone.
Yeah.
Well, see,
I
I,
wanna
am
believe.
bad with names, so
I just know her as Julie in this movie because
In Deep Impact. I'll
and her
check, yeah.
friend Maxine was the one that got shot. Yeah, her friend Maxine was
she-
the one that got
Yeah,
shot.
she was in
was in-
Jurassic World too, the annoying mother yelling in
Oh,
the
She was
bullhorn.
She was in
Wow.
Wyatt Earp.
oh wait,
Wyatt
that's okay. Let's see.
She was in that Jim Carrey movie too, the Dick and Jane one.
Oh wait,
Oh,
no,
Fun with
that
Dick
is
and
her.
Jane. Really?
Yeah.
Wait, no, but she's so much hotter here.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
first big
she
movie was Deep
changed.
Impact, really, I would say. After
She
this
really
one.
changed. Holy shit!
She
that is
was
not-
married to David Duchovny. I don't know if they're still married. Monkey.
No, he had the sex addiction.
I was going to say I think they got a divorce a couple years.
Yeah, and
back,
she married the guy from Wings. What was his name? Let's see who she married.
Yeah,
Tim Daly.
um,
Tim Daly.
Tim Daly. I met him. Not too
Tim
long ago,
Daly.
yeah.
Oh, was that the voice of Superman?
Pretty
Yeah.
nice guy.
Yes.
Didn't really get to
Animated
talk
series
to him much.
Superman.
But yeah.
Animated series Superman. I talks about. I want to see you and Drew Taylor in a buddy cop film called Dixon Beer, and Drew saves your life by getting arrested to knock out the bad guy. What the fuck, Todd? Ella Gabulus for $5 says, "Here's to the guy yelling at parked cars who reads his lines with passion. He's the Michael Bay and Nicolas Cage of comics division. You could teach a master class on delivering lines while eating pizza and drinking. Hail. And hail to you, Ella Gabulus, and thank you for the $5, sir. I appreciate that. I love when you send us those scripted pieces on Monday night. So shout out to Comics Division, the Dix Division, and to Ella Gabulus.
I just read this on Tay Leone. She would have been Rachel. She was offered the role of Rachel in Friends.
Oh,
She
really?
turned it down. Yep. To be in
She
another TV
regrets
station.
that.
Oh my god, yeah.
No,
of course,
which
she wanted
one-
the show to be.
Which
yeah.
one's Rachel?
That's
Really?
You don't
I'm
know
sure.
Rachel? Jennifer
I
Aniston?
never watched Friends. Oh, I know who
I was
Jennifer
going to say
Aniston
Jennifer
is.
Aniston has had a so-so career, but I wouldn't say she's had.
What?
I mean, she's done a few
Really?
movies since Friends, but that was it.
Better
Friends
career
was her
than
big-
Leone, though, I would say.
Yeah, she's actually probably done more work than her in the end.
Although, is the question whether or not people are giving Jennifer Aniston work, or she doesn't need to work at all because she gets so many
Well, they make
residuals from
so
Friends?
much shit from Friends. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, her last semi big movie out in theaters was Tower Heist back in 2011.
Mhm.
She has not been doing a whole lot since then, other than the TV.
Well, she's
shows.
also hit that age where she's
Yeah.
not quite old enough to play grandmas yet, and yet
Yeah.
she's not
Yeah.
young enough to play the love interest. So she might start popping back into movies again soon.
I
Or
just
she
can't
gets
believe
retired.
that's the same girl. Like I'm looking at pictures right now because I did not see that resemblance at all.
Well, that's like almost 20-year difference too there, or 10
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah, I can't see her looking like Jennifer Aniston. I get an answer off of that. I never watched Friends. I just knew Jennifer Aniston was in. I just didn't know what.
I mean, I'm trying to think of anything Jennifer Aniston did besides the couple Adam Sandler movies. What else?
She did Bruce Almighty. With
I just said besides the Jim Carrey movies or Adam Sandler. Yeah, so just you did one Jim Carrey movie. Okay.
Horrible Bosses.
That Vince Vaughn
that's probably
movie.
her only thing.
Vince Vaughn movie. What's that one where she's "Want you to want to"?
That's
do
when
the
they were
dishes.
dating though too. The breakup.
You're talking about Jennifer Aniston movies, like that. What was the
Millers movie that did okay for her, and the Horrible Bosses? But I'm trying to think of something that she was like the actual star. And yeah, she was in Office Space, but she was kind of like. That was still when she was on Friends, though. She did that as more like
she was hilarious in Horrible Bosses.
She did that as
that character was awesome.
That was a decent movie, but I'm trying to think.
And she's on some new Apple TV show now too, like
is she?
as a newscaster or something. I never watch it, but yeah,
all right.
I mean,
Apple TV exclusive. Yeah,
I don't know if you'd call her the lead star, but she was one of the main characters in Leprechaun.
Yeah,
that was a great role.
That was before Friends and the Nose Job. So.
Yeah.
I love it because now, obviously he's bringing her up to the room. He's got to act like it's his place. She brought the dogs with.
I got
can't turn the lights on.
Keep moving it.
And he has to explain, especially when she goes into the room and she sees all the photos of Will Smith's Mike Lowry.
She thinks he's gay.
Yeah.
It's obvious that you're gay. It's fine. I'm okay with that. What?
Nothing wrong with that.
Lowry? No.
He's just saved my life plenty of times. Seriously, these lines are so
They
ridiculous.
could never get away with making that joke now.
Nope. I love it. He's got to get everyone to roll it. He's got to get Chet to roll it. Now that his boss is like, all right, now you are Mike Lowry, and we got to get everyone to roll with it. And soon before you know it, Mike has to be Burnett, and he has to start hanging out with his wife, and it starts turning into these situations of bad timing.
It's comedy of errors. It's like a classic, classic comedy of errors where it's always a misunderstanding, but it works so well, right? Because from the one angle, they couldn't get a hold of Mike because he was knocked out, so he needed to pretend to be Mike. So that set up the whole thing between her and him. And then you got the thing with Chet, where Chet's assuming that he's cheating on his wife and all this shit. So it's this perfect fucking combination of things that work so well in this like comedy of errors. It's a classic kind of setup, right? But it works in this movie. To me, like I said, it's kind of the crutch of the movie or the spine of the film or whatever you want to call it. But yeah.
No, and there's just endlessly so many great lines between the two. Like it's like every other line they're saying some shit like, dude, why am I tripping on shit I know is there? Just little dumb lines like that are
moving my shit.
Too bad I didn't have a clapper, clap on, clap off, or an echo device. Yeah, you can't do that. Lights on,
You got shot in the leg. Like your dick probably don't even work. Like those lines. Do you see the fucking emotion I'm going through right now? There's just so many great lines. So many great lines in this.
Oh, we got to give it up for Joey Pants here too.
Oh my god, yeah. He looks kind of like the guy.
He can't be that bad at basketball. Come
Rainmaker.
Dude, he's got to be like Mike a little bit. Just a little bit. I mean, yeah, there's no way he's bad at basketball. I agree with Mark. That there's just no way.
Not that bad, yeah. I was hitting all the shots that you guys got here.
It was like what's his face in Along Came Polly, who played his friend when they were playing basketball on the courts, and he was just like Rainmaker, and he was just like slamming it up against the backboard. I don't know if you guys ever saw that.
Yeah.
No, hold on. Once again, you just mentioned our movie. I think that was something that was Ben Stiller and Jennifer Aniston. Yeah, that was another Jennifer Aniston one.
Right,
I forgot all about that one.
What's the other actor's name? It was like a really big actor. Fortunately died, but that was incredible actor. So it was weird seeing him that role.
What was his name?
You hear all the pictures, yeah.
Here's the pictures.
The pictures, yeah.
You know,
saved my
every time
life.
every time he saved my life.
Quick thinking.
And I like is
Philip
especially-
Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, yeah, he's a great actor, yep.
Philip Seymour Hoffman. I
So
mean,
seeing him in that movie is
I
just
always
it's just
forget his
weird.
fucking name too, and I feel
Yeah.
so bad because he was a great actor.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic! Absolutely fantastic actor.
it's okay to be a homosexual. Yeah, don't you see that? Don't you see the dents I left in the bed? Like, oh, I like how, especially like when him and actual Mike Lowry meet, and they actually like had to start. They always had to refer to each other by their non-names. Like, yeah, I got this, Marcus.
Oh, and here's your line, Nick. He's like, my baloney has a first name.
Actually, your baloney has about 30 names.
Seriously, there's so many good names, dude. She's ruining the fun. Like
She's funny as shit though. Here, come on, she's playing the Karen to a T.
Oh no, she totally is. No, I'll give her credit in that sense, Tom. Okay, I'll give you that there. But
Well, and she showed later on she's got great comedic timing. Like Dick and Jane was actually pretty funny. I thought. It was
yeah,
pretty
no,
good.
I dug Dick and Jane. I did. Yeah, I did dig that.
And now she's on
movie.
she's on Madam Secretary, I guess. She's or
Oh,
what's she on now? Taylor on it. What show is she on?
Something like that. But yeah,
Something like that, right?
Madam
Secretary? Was that the
Yeah, Madam Secretary. I
the
think
Hillary
that's it.
Clinton TV show, I guess, yeah.
What?
really?
I have not
Madam
seen
Secretary,
this
right? She's
horrible
Secretary of State.
monstrosity. I've not seen this. So,
I love this too. When they're talking, he's
oh
talking
yeah, the
Yeah.
liquid shit.
liquid shit.
And you see, he's like, yeah, well, if this were my place, I'd be really fucking ill.
Yes, yeah.
Oh my god, dude, yeah, this is a great twist on the buddy cup. Tom, you are correct on that. They're really
Well,
really
it's just like an old school. Like it's actually more of like a romantic comedy twist, right?
romantic.
Like
Like
comedy
it's that.
twist,
It's that total like comedy of errors, which is very tough to do because 9 times out of 10, it's one of those situations that can always be cleared up by somebody just going, "Wait a minute, time out. This is what's going on," and then the problem would be over with. Fortunately for this film, it has to be there. Like, I mean, it's integral to the plot, so it works within that sense that they have to keep up the charade, and that's why he's stuck in this position. And and you got the reversal of it too, where he's worried about Mike moving in on his wife and shit like that.
Yeah.
Well, who wouldn't be, right? I mean, God,
Right?
the Fresh Prince, right?
That lady who works at the police department, the blonde-headed lady who was actually
She's
got
been in a
paid
few
to-
things.
Yeah, wasn't she the mom for the girl in the,
In the
Crow?
Crow. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
This is
so.
this is a weird outfit she's wearing here too. And this is like how
This
short
was
is
the
the skirt?
90s, man.
The
This was
Yeah.
like
I was
fucking-
Weird. You mean amazing?
All right. Anyways, Yeti, I will show off your screen. Why don't you plug in your channel as you have to go, sir? Thank you for joining and taking the
Oh,
time. So why
thanks
don't you
for
plug
having
in what you got coming up on your channel, my friend?
So I'm working on a roast of the latest Lord of the Rings trailer, that teaser trailer Amazon put out. So I've got all the audio done. I just need to do the video editing. Hopefully that's not going to take too long. So either tomorrow or the next day it should be out. So please go check that out because I'm trying to get back to these roasts. So I think you guys are going to like it.
Nice.
All right. Killer, dude. Awesome. Hey, once again, thank you for coming on. I appreciate any time you can get. And I will send you what movie we're doing next week in the group chat, all right?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, dude.
Have a good night, guys.
All right, thank you.
Good night, Yeti.
Bye.
Oh,
Oh, okay. I'll stay 1 or 2 more seconds.
Yeah, we
love
missed a couple of
Hey,
scenes.
you,
Yeah,
you gotta get out of here. You gotta
missed
get
a
out of
couple.
here.
Okay, now I'm
Here,
going.
Yeti, you can come
Oh,
back, right? Yeah. There we go. I
I
guess
love
it's the
how-
massage. The massage.
Marcus loses his mind when she walks in. She's like, "Hey, Mike," and he's like, no, you gotta get out of here."
Like that
Who-
Mike's
who
all
is she?
pissed off, Yvette or whatever. Like he's like, "You kicked her out."
But does she
Yeah.
normally come over for a massage dressed like that, or is this the first occurrence? That's what I want to know. Who cares, right?
It was. See, Lowry is a great toxic male. That's ultimately what he is. He's an
Okay, I'm
excellent-
going now. Bye.
All right, bye, Yeti.
Love you, Yeti. Take care.
Oh man, and that was Yeti Cass out the door. I forgot to give him his punch out the door, but I'll do it anyway.
Shit. How about a massage, bitch?
Tommy, your voice is killing me with that clip. Nah, the show must go on. Ahead, D
Doing Jezebel scene.
Mad would kick her out.
Yeah, no, Mad Mardigan would kick her out. It would not end well. It wouldn't be fun. Good God.
Let's be real. Mad would have killed Tia Leone's character by now, too.
Oh my God. Like, I am not protecting your ass. Shut up. Like, yeah, I imagine like they're like, you're gonna eat the dog shit that the dog shit out. I can already see Mad would be the most toxic man about it. That's how he'd handle it. And here's your typical 90s movie where you got to have the stereotypical industrial music scene because that was the hopping thing in the 90s where you went to the rave clubs.
Scene.
Dude, these scenes it was like okay, you gotta have the electronics industrial scene in these movies. It was standard. It was like you had to have it in the movies.
Yep. Always some warehouse somewhere or something. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Some dive or trying to look like a dive, at least for the case of the movie. Oh my God, Soul Assassin, damn it. Man would kick her out, Handy Randy would try and get her to touch his hand pee. Oh God. Oh, what up? All right, and then dude, she ruined the mission right here.
Yeah.
They could have I feel like obviously our boy here, Mr. Marcus, was obviously. Can you imagine like being the fear of almost a bag over your face? And damn, that I look back on the scene. I'm like, I don't know how you pull off a scene like that and make it look that good and look blue because actually it does look like he's suffocating in that bag. Like, holy shit. Yeah, here, right here. I'm just like, fuck, dude. Like, I remember when I first saw him, like, oh shit. Yeah,
I didn't even get to finish going to the bathroom either.
Oh my God.
It's probably because I don't know if that's really Martin Lawrence, but it's probably a stunt double, and they probably know how to sell it. That's why. Because in the stunt work, it's all the person, like in this case, the person who's doing the choking or whatever and the grabbing, they're not doing anything. It's the person who's actually being choked and grabbed. They're the one jumping around and doing all the shit and making it look like the other person's doing it. That's how that stunt work works usually. So they're in control. Yeah.
Okay. A nice little insight there, Sir Thomas. I did not know that about that flick.
Yeah, especially if you have like a choking scene or where anybody's like grabbing somebody by the neck or anything like that. That's generally the way it works. Yeah.
Damn, no, I love this scene because once again, it just shows you because Marcus, aka Martin Lawrence, has to basically be the star of this movie, even though Will Smith's the bigger drawing power, but he's the one who's going through all of the shit. He's the married man who has to now make sure he's not making moves with this other girl. Now he's the one taking literal hits while Lowry's here sitting on his ass just waiting for things to happen. Like, man, there's that video there.
I love this shot.
I don't know.
That's what I mean.
Peter would be all over this movie today. They killed all those fish in the film, right? I mean, God.
Yeah. Mike's just sitting on the couch just waiting for something to happen. And he's just like, help me, like type of thing. And then, oh God, Peter would be like, we can't do this, guys.
They probably didn't kill any real fish.
No, they did it.
PETA was pretty bad at this point already.
You knew they wouldn't, but it's just the fact that because people look for shit to get.
I remember by the time you get to like arachnophobia and stuff like that was before this, they were very like worried about even like spiders and
killing spiders. Right?
Yeah, so like at this point, I'm sure they didn't have no real fish in there.
Yeah. But that was a great scene. I love this bathroom scene. It was fun. Yeah. And then this is the payback to it, right? When the guy's head goes in the toilet, right? Shit. Even though I know that's not real pee, but God bless that stuntman. They can pay him extra for that, right?
To make that toilet water look that nasty and sellable.
Yeah, and his head goes in there. Yeah. And then she's toxic too, right? Steals the handgun and is going to take a shot. I don't know how she'd know how to use a gun. It sounds like she hasn't shot anyone before. I think she says that later, but she's going for the shot. So she's got balls. Yeah.
See, this is where I'm not familiar with how the guns works. I could tell you how logical her gun moves are. I just know that she ruined their mission, right?
Well, that would have been a really tough shot from that far away with that small pistol. But in the movies, you never know.
You'd have to pretty much.
You'd be an awesome shot to hit anything.
Yeah, and like, and
especially if it's your first time.
I think you're right, Mark. I think with that small of a I don't think you'd be able to make much of a dent.
25 feet is about
probably about maximum.
Yeah, but I love her spirit there, though, right? She's gonna kill. She took out the guy took out her best friend. So yeah, so. Yeah, it's no, she's a good character in the movie, and Mad's not here to.
Well, it makes her a little proactive too, but yeah,
she's not just sitting back. Yeah,
and I was gonna say she did without being a total Mary Sue, but she needed the men ultimately as far as protection, because obviously she was a witness to the scene of a crime. But when the chips were down and she needed to get it together for certain moments, like obviously between this scene and also in the third and final act, she does get her shit together when it counts the most. So she does, Julie's character does have her development throughout the movie. So she does provide her she brings her side of the table of helping out when the guys are falling short in certain areas, whether it's transportation or even trying to go for the shot, even though it backfired. But I guess you could appreciate the thought. Yep. Even though she's vegetarian, we'll still let that go. I'm kind of resentful.
You're rooting for Oscar Mayer here.
I'm kind of resentful here on that, but I'll let it go because she did have an overall good character. Soul says Alec Baldwin have made shot.
Oh,
he's getting sued now too today. It was just in the news.
Yeah, he just got
no
sued.
surprise.
Is that for sure?
No surprise. Yeah, well,
is that for sure?
I mean, that's a no-brainer anyway. I mean, they're going to sue.
Yeah, it's going to happen. Well, I'm actually kind of surprised they're going after him directly and not just the studio or the production company. But yeah,
but he's got more money than the production company,
probably,
right? Yeah. So
and maybe they have to for a civil case. That's probable.
Yeah.
You know what this scene reminded me of? The first time I saw it, reminded me of the club scene in Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Oh, my guy! It's been so long since
the shootout outside of the club. It was so very much it's very much in the same kind of vein.
Oh, was it now?
Like this movie has a very similar it's.
Oh, it looks like he's gonna put his finger up her nose right there.
It felt much like a child of Beverly Hills Cop. Very much so to me, watching this the first time. I loved it in that sense because to me, Beverly Hills Cop is one of my favorite films, and
yeah.
So it just really kind of fits that mold.
So different but familiar type of thing. So it's
it's the because Michael Bay was able to capture that energy that Don Simpson and Bruckheimer films of the 80s had, and Will Smith and Martin Lawrence both have kind of the two best parts of Eddie Murphy, right? The charming side plus the humor. So it was just kind of this, it just felt like this kind of child of that era, right? And Martin Lawrence specifically is a child of Eddie Murphy's comedy. Big time. So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God.
That's a good scene. I think Bay, he must love Camaros, right? Because he's always got Camaros in his movie.
That was the one part my cousin hated. He's like, why do they always got to ruin good cars in these movies?
Well, he's got that great scene. That's probably the best car scene ever, right? The one where Megan Fox fixes the Camaro, right?
Yeah.
In Transformers. Yeah.
A lot of dudes had some spider senses tingling when they saw her fixing that car, I'm sure.
I want you to change the air filter. Yeah.
Yeah, that no, that's not the car I was thinking of in this movie.
Well, didn't he have a Porsche?
They have the two one. They have the one at the end is the Porsche, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, the Osalo was the way it was at the end. It was a Porsche.
Hopefully it wasn't. Hopefully it's got to be a replica Cobra because I'm assuming they want to trash it.
That was where my cousin got pissed. He's like, I hope that was fake. He was so upset. He was like, because he hates that when they do that in movies.
That Shelby Cobra on that scene where it's driving out of the back of the aircraft. It actually crashed off camera. And so a bunch of shots that they had to do afterwards, they had to do like close-up shots of the car until they could find a replacement that was exactly like that car.
Wow.
So yeah, that Shelby Cobra actually ended up getting jacked up.
I love this
Damn.
bit. This is one of the funniest scenes.
Yeah.
here.
Oh, dude.
Mother bitches!
This has
Blow
lots
me!
of
What
great...
the fuck?
Freeze, mother bitches! I love that, mother bitches.
You want badges? I got badges. I sell you one.
Yeah.
I remember I heard that term. Like, I actually had to rewind it because obviously when I saw it was on VHS. I'm like, did you say mother bitches? And I rewinded it. I'm like, he said mother bitches. I give you badges.
And the Bubble Yum Skittles line was in almost every trailer.
Oh,
Yeah,
was this?
Yeah, that was
it?
the one that I was saying earlier that they improved.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Well,
start
I know
arguing
most
with
of
each
this
other.
shit is- most of this shit is improv. A lot of their stuff you can tell is,
Yeah.
especially Martin, just like that first scene in the movie alone. You like him in the, I can't get down there. My shit get all like jacked up like this, and then I come up with fingers like this, and I got no fries, and like that whole thing you can tell is just all improvised and shit.
Yeah,
Because you got this industrial floor and shit.
How do you script mother bitch?
You
That's
don't.
where I
You
asked you
don't.
guys. How do you
Like I
script
guarantee you,
mother
the
bitch?
scene in the
It's a
script is
flub
just
line.
like fucking like clerk gets angry with like that's probably what it says, and then they just kind of improvise the whole thing from there.
I wonder if there's like blooper reel footage.
Oh, I'm
from,
sure somewheres.
from like some of these scenes.
I tried looking for.
There's not much on the
something.
Blu-ray, but I'm
Yeah.
sure there's tons of like considering how much they improved. I'm sure, but these guys knew how to do it, right? Because Will knew to play the straight man.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have him. That's where like Ghostbusters 2016 didn't get it. None of them ladies are playing the straight man. That's the problem.
You need a straight man. Yep.
They
And
have
that's
no-
where,
Abbott and Costello, Lauren Hardy, right? I mean,
well, and even in the
that's-
original Ghostbusters, it was kind of Bill Murray, even though he had the smarmy lines. He's like the only guy until Winston comes in that the audience can relate to because Egon and Ray are on this whole other level, right? They're like
yeah,
completely
born fungi, and
yeah. So he's
They're out
even,
there.
you know, that's kind of what Will Smith. I mean, he's got a few nice lines here and there. It's kind of what, you know, the kind of the Bill Murray role, basically. Yeah. This is great.
I saw that giant frog. She's like, man, it's so weird. She started to like notice like there's something off about this whole picture.
yeah,
This is where she started like piece things together. And when she's saying, you know, hey, Marcus seems like such a seductive guy. I would imagine his wife would just be in love. She starts to put these images in his
smooth.
head. Yeah. And he's just like, oh, and he makes his infamous call.
yeah. And he tries to break into his house when the guys are watching.
Dude, one of the funniest
Funniest thing.
break-ins to his own place where
His
he
own fucking
breaks
place.
shit.
Yeah, this is great, especially the way it's shot and everything too. Like,
Yeah,
you
and
can
then the
see it right
lines
there.
are-
That shot is
Yeah,
just like,
that line here, yeah, with the, like, Mike, put it back in. I cannot believe you took it out. Motherfucker.
and that's one thing I feel like was missing in the second one. Sure, like that's why I like the funnier bits the best because they were so far and few between. This movie was just a lot funnier than I expected it to be. Right, like it is. This is almost a flat out comedy at some points, and that's the thing is the whole structure is it's structured like a classic comedy of errors, like I said. So that's what helps with that. But yeah,
Well,
but
as
Martin
I bring it-
Lawrence is he just this is probably one of his best performances ever.
Yeah.
in this
Oh,
movie, so.
easily, and once it worked to his benefit having the role switch be the thing because it gave him that moment to say, okay, now I get to actually be the star of the movie since he had to be basically Will Smith's character. So that really worked to his advantage. And
Well, since he was the star at the time, that's why it was that way. Because imagine if, you know, like they had picked anybody else, like if, like, you know, like you said, that if it was John Lovitz and Dana Carvey, well, of course, John Lovitz would probably be playing the smooth guy, and
Yeah.
the other way around would be, you know, Dana Carvey playing the Martin Lawrence.
yeah, here it is.
In the garbage, yeah. got a lot of garbage there.
Dude.
God.
Got a lot of
Will Smith's
kids.
not taking out the trash. Jeez.
Yeah.
Dude, I just, you would think, okay, I live here. I know my place. I should know. I should have a good idea of things. And he just fell down that day and just trashed all the cans filled with garbage.
Oh, Life cereal there, Nick. Look at the carnage. The Life cereal.
Dude, how do you do that? How do you do that to cereal, man? I see a Sprite. I think I saw a wasted Chinese
Avion.
food box.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I see
Boosh, as I was saying though, until Winston comes in the story, Peter's pretty much the straight man. But yeah,
Take care, Brahma Bull. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oh Lord. Oh God. Oh, and then he sees. Oh no, it's
I
him.
am the police.
It's amazing. I remember when I first saw this. I do remember when I first saw this, thinking, how long could they keep this gig up? How long could they keep selling it that they are, one is the other, the other's, the other. And I couldn't believe it. Like, I remember looking at thinking, oh my God, they went nearly like what, 3/4 of the movie, or like maybe
well, the
60,
beauty of it is she's
75%?
already figured it out. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's fucking with him. That's why she keeps doing this shit.
Yeah, and she's like, here's like, Marcus, what are you doing? You're doing Teresa. I'm not doing Teresa. Nobody does my baby. It's like the lines in the middle of this fight are like so fucking hysterical. It's like, then the guys, the mob guys are like, should we let them kill each other?
See,
We
that's
could
when
sneak up and snuff them both right now. It's
this
hysterical. And it works.
Although, it does work. This I had to add because I mentioned earlier about being a romantic comedy. This is when Lowry's still a true bro through and through, because even though he's the pimp, he's the granddaddy godfather type who brings the hoe train to his house, he still says, dude, your lady's off limits. Like he still has that. He still says, nah, I can't do that to you. Like, he does have his line somewhere. There's still that spot of integrity. Is like, you're my bro, man. I would never do that to you. I would never try and make that move behind your back like that. It shows you, like, the guy may be a man whore, but somewhere in there's a moral code there.
There's
Yeah,
a version of this movie in an alternate universe that was made 10 years prior to this that had like Bill Murray and Rick Moranis in it.
Oh,
And that-
jeez. That would
Bill
be
Murray,
funny.
Rick- See, I didn't know until 2010s ish. I don't know what year specifically, but there was another Bad Boys movie that came out.
Oh,
in
yeah, with
83 with Sean Penn.
Sean Penn, yeah.
Yeah, I actually forget about it all the time. If anything,
I think that was one of the reasons why they bounced around on names for this movie so much, because they weren't sure if they could use Bad Boys right away. But I think there was since there was 10 years apart, and I think they had to get just permission or whatever from the other studio or whatever. And yeah, so it was just kind of a minor thing, but I don't know what all the other titles were. I wish I did, but
well, what was that one title again, Nick?
yeah, you
Something
said it
Heart?
earlier.
Bullet Hearts or something like that.
Bulletproof Hearts,
Or
yeah.
Bulletproof Hearts, like
Oh yeah, Bulletproof
Ooh.
Hearts.
Ooh, that's-
original.
Originally
name of the
bad
movie.
name.
Yeah.
oh,
Very bad name.
That's not a good title. That's not good.
No.
Like, you hear that title, and you're like, oh God, no, that's bad. Like, it works out that Bad Boys did, because like, I'm sure obviously the movie would be good, but that title is great for
It
marketing
just
purpose.
happens to work, yeah.
It works, and also at the time, like, you also had that memorable song, Bad Boys,
Oh yeah.
what you gonna do?
I love this.
Like,
That shit gets in your clothes and it stinks.
Was that song big after the movie or before? I can't remember
Before,
now.
because it
I
came
think
with
before.
Cops, and Cops
Yeah, the Cop show.
debuted
Cop show, yeah.
87?
Cops is that old? Wow.
I think
Yep,
87,
Cops is
88,
very old.
somewhere in there. Yeah, and then the single was never even released until like the early 90s, and then they finally had it out. And then that album came out like 2 years, I want to say. But I bought the soundtrack for this right after the movie, and there's a version of that song on its but it's a remix or whatever.
Yeah, there's a couple versions. There's another version of the end credits or something.
Well, they only have the one on the soundtrack, but I
One
think
on the soundtrack, yeah.
yeah, but it's just a remix or whatever.
Yeah. No, it's a great song too. So,
Yeah. Well, it's a catchy song, and it just works because they're cops, and yeah.
Yeah.
Talks.
Toxic
Where'd you get
censored.
censored? Where? Dude, do send me a message. Let me know what's going on, dude.
You know, the other reason why I think this movie looks so beautiful is because it was shot before digital fucking grading. So you actually get to see the real California haze
or Florida haze in
or
this
the
case.
Florida haze, I mean, and yeah, just the way the sun kind of beats on everything, and just the way the skies look and
Looks natural.
looks natural,
Yeah.
exactly. Like look at this right here. That looks like a real sky. Looks like they're actually in the day. It's just
Yeah,
like,
and that was some of the cool shots that Beverly Hills Cop had in it also back in the 80s. The
Black
sort of
Dudes with
hazy-
Guns was okay. That's what he was trying to say. Black Dudes with Guns was one of the other titles, I guess.
Oh, is that really? That was what? That was a title or a working title?
I could see like Black Cops or something like that as a working title. Just as
I could see that. No, I could
this
see
is
that.
good. Mom,
That's on TV.
That's on TV. Yeah.
and that's where everything starts to really escalate, because that's where she goes down to the infamous room of the Lowry, and she sees everything happen before her own He's going nuts in the scene, which is very fitting for him. How crazy
it's
he
actually
was in
kind of
real
similar
life.
to what happened in real life. He had more clothes on in the movie though, so
Thankfully, because like, can you imagine? Like, imagine when they were showing this, like, hey, remember when you were kind of losing your mind a little bit not too long ago? Well,
actually, I
can you
think
kind
that
of do
happened
that
after this, but yeah.
Well, he also did stuff, I think, as far back as the 80s.
I'm trying to think. He had, I think he had like some incidences where he'd have like fights and stuff, and then after the show was over, what's her face, his co-star had claimed he was a dickhole and like kind of sexually harassed her and stuff. But but that's the thing, is he had like, I think he got diagnosed with some disorder and stuff like that after all that stuff went down. I don't know specifically, so I don't want to say, like, I don't want to
you're good, dude.
say what it is, but yeah.
No, you're good.
Clearly,
man.
he had some issues, but that the drugs didn't help.
But okay, if she wants to see Mike Lowry, is it the tall one or the short one?
Yeah.
Yeah, she already knows.
Yep. She basically just got her confirmation here.
God. I'm still of the mind that they went this far into the movie that she may have known she was onto them, like they're acting really weird with each other, and they're saying each other's names like with the big long like awkward pauses. And that's what she realizes, she loves Marcus, because you don't really see her until she's about to get shot at. She actually says, "I love you, Marcus," because throughout the movie, it's just, hey, I gotta go be mom, and the kids are coming upstairs type of thing.
Yeah.
She's just kind of like, I would say she rejects him, but she's not as into him.
The love thing with Tia Leone and Will Smith is a little forced. That's probably the weakest bit in the film, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a great scene though too, and the wife finally realizes in the end, she's like, "I love you." Like, I mean, you wonder half of it they're just joking, or how much you really believe. But it wasn't a good looking scene there for Marcus until he gets saved now, right? By the guys coming to shoot. My marriage is saved, but I might get killed here. Yeah. So,
who is this guy?
Oh, he's been in a few things. I was trying to think of his name here. Yeah,
I feel like he looked like one of the Russian mobsters in Daredevil. Like, and it's probably not. He has that look. He'd be in one of the. Remember, if you remember in season 1, there was some of the Russian mafia guys. He looks like he will have been one of them, but I could be very off, and I never looked into it. But I'm like, I've seen this son of a bitch somewhere, and I tried looking at his credits. I'm like, obviously, maybe just looks different from now to 27 years ago. I was like, I don't know who this son of a bitch is. Maybe if I watched on Amazon, because on Amazon, when you watch the movie, sometimes it shows the characters who are on the screen at the time, who they are. Helps
he's
you
French.
identify
He's
the face.
French. Yep.
It's French, okay.
Born in Turkey, but French background. It says, yep. French actor. Yep.
Oh.
Always in La Femme Nikita, Luc Besson.
See, I knew that show, but I didn't see the show.
Well, that was the original movie. Though there was a movie, and then they got didn't get that remake, or then it became a TV show.
What?
I think. Yeah. Yeah, it was the movie La Femme Nikita, 1990. Yep.
Yeah,
Did not know it was a
It's
flick.
a great movie. Yeah, good movie. Yeah.
he's been in a few things. He was in The Patriot. He was in The Core.
Oh, GoldenEye.
None of these guys in these screenshots as you're going through this have proper trigger control on their whole guns. I've been noticing they're wrapping the entire finger right around the whole trigger.
Yeah.
No,
because they know they're not hitting anything, right?
Yeah.
Shoot to kill.
no, Nick. Sounds like you know a bit more about the guns than I do. Is that supposed to be like something that they adjust to for the movies, or is that something they should never do under any circumstance?
I mean, just if you're shooting a gun, it's just you should only use like the part of your finger right behind your nail to actually pull, not wrap your whole finger around to where like the middle part of your finger is actually on the trigger, which is what these guys are doing in all these shots where I just noticed it when you were going through it.
You're not gonna be
worried about
you're not
too
gonna
much
be as
shit,
accurate.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be
This is a
accurate. You're gonna
movie.
jerk the gun around. Yeah.
And
So-
the thing is, you don't ever catch that. I don't ever pay attention to it when you're just watching it in regular speed.
Just the tip, Gonzalo. Just the
Yeah,
tip.
just the Yes.
Plus, in movies, always drives me crazy. Like, the bullets get stopped by sheetrock or
Yeah.
everything. It's like
Hey,
you
there's
ever
a
shot
boy
a gun?
chat.
you ever
Yeah,
shot a gun anywhere? It's like, and you put stuff up for targets. There's a reason why, we have steel targets, and
Mhm.
then you put up stuff for fun, like you put out old microwaves or monitors or computers. Or you take like a car door. It's like, how many car doors can we shoot through? 6, 7? It's like,
That's
it's
Demolition Ranch. They try everything. But yeah, the funny thing on this scene right here, this whole chase scene where he's going after the bad guys, Michael Bay actually wanted Will Smith to do this scene shirtless, and he wouldn't do it. So as far as he would go,
that's why
was
he had
having
the
his
half
shirt
off.
just be unbuttoned.
That doesn't seem like Will Smith to do that. Like,
Got Stallone would have thrown his shirt off in an instant.
Yeah.
like, hey, I got this, guys. Let me take this shit off.
I was wondering.
Schwarzenegger would have been like, I've been waiting to take it off. Jesus.
Yeah,
The shit's so tight on my stomach. Come on,
this is a good stuntman here too. Like, don't time this one wrong or slip. It's like,
dude.
that it looked pretty close there. But of course, the way they film it with the angles and stuff too, the
Yeah.
truck's probably a lot further away than it looked.
Yeah,
so.
there was actually a couple things that Will Smith, other than this one right here, running around with no shirt on, at the end of the movie when he tells Martin Lawrence's character that he loves him, he didn't want to do that
Yeah.
line either.
You know what? I heard about that. I
Yeah.
laughed so hard. I'm like, dude, come on. You have to. It's for the romantic comedy greatness. Like, how could you not want to say that? Like, I can't believe there was a fight about that. I mean, bro.
Hey, was this
come
before
on.
OJ and the Bronco? What year was OJ? Was it
The
was
year
that
after
Bronco?
this, I
I was
think.
gonna say a year or two
Yeah, was
after.
it
Was that a Bronco in this scene? Or
It might have been.
I love
Yeah,
how
it's a Ford, yeah.
Yeah,
God, it's so. Is that a Beretta? That is a Beretta. Holy shit.
yeah.
I love how still brutal this chase scene is to this day. Like, so many movies
Fucking
have come
90s.
out since then, and this still, like, you could watch this thing. This chase scene still holds up. Like this one.
There's a Pacer, AMC Pacer.
Yeah. Yeah, this chase scene definitely holds up better than the chase scene in Book of Boba Fett.
Well,
Oh my!
No scooters were killed in the filming of this chase scene.
Yeah.
God,
All right, I gotta ask Nick. How have I saw the reactions of the first episode were definitely out. There was some pushback I noticed from your audience on the first episode. How did they feel about the Boba Rangers?
Oh yeah, once that episode hit, more people were were on our side of things.
They came over to your side.
Yeah.
They switched from light to
Yeah.
dark or dark to light, however you want
Yeah,
to
they
look
were
at it.
trashing us for our review of episode 2, and then episode 3, we really weren't getting trashed on too much after that.
Eventually, you get to a point where go Bobo Rangers,
Yeah.
like, dude. So, oh, like
Here's another base shot here.
Yeah. Well, see, this is where you could say he does. Maybe this is the microaggression of microbayisms.
Oh, this is the best
Yeah,
you could
yeah.
get because this is him most reserved. Like, I'd love to see somebody take like this scene here from beginning to end and count how many cuts are in it, compared to like something that he's done in like Transformers 3, in like an action sequence that's similar. And I bet you the cuts are like 300-to-1 ratio.
Wow.
Oh yeah, no,
Because I mean, look at this scene here. This is I love how this is the one
That's a great
really
shot.
this whole bit, how it runs through and how it's edited. It's just so smooth compared to some of his later shit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You can follow. Yeah, you can follow it really well. Yep. That's what I hate today in a lot of the fight scenes where it's just you don't know what's happening in the movie.
Yeah, you get in some of those Transformer bits, and there gets to a point where I have no idea where they're at, who's fighting who's doing what, and it's just a bunch of like spinning cameras,
Explosions.
and explosions, and yeah.
Explosions.
Hey, at least we got
Wow.
Michael here.
Yeah, and
That's
you're
at least
waiting.
one good
movies-
thing that's a Michael Bayism.
And for Transformers, you're just there for the robot fights anyway. So it's
Yeah.
it's like when King Kong versus Godzilla came out, I was joking like, oh, there should be an edit of just the fights, and someone did it on YouTube, I think, or just like 30-minute movie with just the fights. Like skip all the exposition and all the other stuff. We don't need it. We just want to watch the fights. So this is a funny scene
I
too. Yeah,
loved
you
it.
look great. You look great as he slides through.
Even like that, once again, that's when the man, like he's just like he's like, he doesn't discriminate. He's just like, I'm gonna compliment you. I'm gonna compliment you. Even at the old age, he's
He's a
still,
ladies' man.
He's a ladies' man through and through. He's an equal opportunist. That Mike Lowry.
You look great.
Oh damn, too good. Yeah, no, seriously, like I mean, Tom, you said it best, and I really can't add anything different, but it's just amazing how, like, we've had so many good movies that, oh god, oh, poor wheelchair guys, damn, they got the brunt of this from the crazy drug lords, all because of damn drugs.
Yep.
All because of damn drugs. They're so petty about their damn drugs. Dude. And there we go.
There you go.
Yeah, see, this is the scene that Mad Mardigan would have gotten turned on with. Once he saw that shoulder, once he saw Will Smith's shoulder, he's like, look at that shoulder. Dude,
Give me the
oh my
shoulder.
god, the jump.
I thought he was going to do a good TJ Hooker impersonation here, but he didn't stay that long on the top of the car. You remember Shatner was the cop, and he would always ride for that was a skit on SNL. He'd ride for miles on the hood of the car, holding on the windshield wiper.
The bad
love
guys,
this
they always shoot up on the roof of the car on like the sides. Like, why not just shoot right in the middle where the body is?
Yeah, that made you see you're being.
Then
you're
the
being
movie
too
be
logical.
over, Nick.
Yeah.
God, you're being too logical. Stop making sense. I still feel the
He'd
hits
have
and the
broke
falls.
something here too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've watched these. I'm like, ooh, that had to hurt.
There's
Like,
no way he wouldn't.
Well, you
just-
can't shoot. The only part of a car you can shoot through in a movie is a roof, as long as the hero is not in that spot. Otherwise, every other part of the car is bulletproof.
Right?
If the hero is in the car,
Because isn't that funny how they can shoot through the glass and shit? Nothing. Like, yeah,
nothing. Yeah. Well, that's.
This is.
I'm
such
gonna
like
die.
whole thing.
See,
This is
this is
so
where
great.
I imagine Marcus is Mad Mardigan on the ground, and he's just eyeing at unbuttoned Will Smith as he's walking up, running to Mad, and then Mad just like, I love you. Like we need Yeti to clip this and Just have Matt's face be over Martin Lawrence's face. It seriously, I can already see it. It's perfection. Oh, set to get a little bit of shoulder from Lawrence too.
I never checked the reface. Yeah, we're gonna see if they have Bad Boys in there. I got Mad's picture. Let's see what they got.
Ah, yes. And this is it, the big build up. This is like and they somehow, even after all the action, they still somehow managed to stick the landing with getting a whole separate like warehouse, abandoned, whatever, to go all in on the action. And a lot of it's like shit that's actually happening. Like I miss that so much. I miss when there was like, granted, I know we all give Michael Bay his shit, and sometimes deservedly so, for overdoing on explosions. But it's nice to see, I guess you could say, genuine, actual explosions happening, because we don't see it like that nowadays. It is impressive that he can act like there is an explosion, there is not, but it's nice to see it when it's there to make it, once again, that much more on a believable sense.
Yeah. Who is that basketball player in this scene right here? I can't remember his name.
Oh, yeah, see the face.
Oh, he's in the sequel too, and I can't think of it.
Someone in the chat will know. Oh, hey, speaking of, Handy Randy showed up.
Hey,
Hi, Handy Randy. I see Dad Man. What's up, Dad Man? How you doing?
Dad Man.
All right, hey, chat, help us out. Who's the basketball player? I know a few of you know the 90s NBA. I just knew the Bulls. See, RC coming in hot.
Right.
John Stallion, deleted scenes too. Yeah. Thank you guys. Look at that. Our chat's got us where we fall short on pieces of knowledge. And
we don't even need Google. We got the chat.
Yeah, we got the chat. Fuck Google, dude. This actually surprised me when we learned she was involved with all the shit that was going down. I forget her name, but that actually took me off guard when I first saw it. I was like, bro.
But you knew someone had to be on the inside. Oh god, look at those computers too. Wow, look how high tech that tracing the phone is right back then. It's like, holy shit.
What's funny is how almost nearly, like, some of this stuff was actually probably not so much out of, like at this time when like CSI and some of those other shows were starting, I'm like, oh god, that's such bullshit. You can't do that, because if you could do that, you could solve every fucking crime.
And there's no cameras now. There's cameras everywhere, right?
Right. Yeah.
So that makes cell phones and GPS can ruin a lot of movies these days. So Adventures in Babysitting ain't happening. So
Home Alone.
Okay.
Home Alone. Yeah.
This actor, I want to bring him up.
Joey
earlier.
Pants is awesome.
Joey
great.
Pantoliano. He kind of looks like the guy who was Ben Urich in the Ben Affleck Daredevil. I always wonder. I'm like, is that him? Who was that actor?
He wasn't. Yes.
Yeah,
he played Phil Urich in Daredevil.
Oh, Phil Urich.
Yep.
Sorry, Phil Urich. I mistaked him for Ben.
And the Affleck Daredevil. Yep.
Okay, so that was him. I'm like, man, that looks just like
Joey Pants has been in a shit ton of movies.
Yes, he should.
Obviously, he made like Matrix and shit like that.
Oh yeah, dude, he was that scummy guy in the first Matrix.
But he's been in shit tons of movies.
Yes, he has. But oh man,
he's even in the third one.
Is it what?
Yeah, everybody's back. Pretty much anybody who's still alive.
Is what's her face from this movie? Julie.
No, she's
no. But like the whole family though, and the cops and stuff like that. I think even.
Oh,
I can't remember some of the other
family grown up. Are the family grown up?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, okay. I'm watching Bad Boys for Life this week.
Oh, it was so much better the second one. I don't know if anybody else besides me has seen it. It sounded like Nick.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
This is kind of toxic here too. Got an itch I'd love to scratch.
Yeah, me and Coach both watched it, and we both liked it.
Nice.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised how good it was.
Yeah.
It's just, I remember when it came out, I knew it was coming out in theaters. I'm like, I wasn't like, I guess, like, oh, fuck that. Like, kind of like I am when I see a bunch of unnecessary sequels. My just was, do these guys still have it? It's just like, I don't mind the idea. It's just do they have it together after all these years? Because, obviously there was only 8 years between 1 and 2, but now 2 and 3, you're talking like 17 years, something like that. And I guess they must still have it because I heard from obviously not just you guys, but from people in general who saw it that, hey, no, it was actually a solid flick.
Well, too bad they killed his character in Independence Day 2 because he's got this thing with third films being the better of the trilogies. So, or at least like because the Men in Black 2 sucked ass and the third one was better. And same thing with as far as I'm concerned, Bad Boys 2 is not nearly as good as Bad Boys 3 and 1. So, you know, maybe if they hadn't killed this fucking character and they made an Independence Day 3 might have been good.
That should have
He
stayed
didn't want to do it, right? The second Independence Day.
He was doing Suicide Squad instead.
That should have been a one movie.
So they fucking killed his character.
That should have been...
it was kind of like a 1-2 punch. It was like, okay, he didn't do it because he was schedule conflicts, but I'm sure he didn't want to anyway. But instead of just having his character be like off doing something or in space or doing whatever, they killed him off, and it's like, that's fucking lame. Yeah. I hate it when they kill a character off screen. Yeah.
Aliens 3.
All right. Good night, D-Bud. Thank you for hanging out, dude. Take care. It's just, dude, Independence Day was great.
That's
as
second
a one and done flick.
Yeah.
I knew when they announced it, I'm like, that is going to bomb. And I can't wait to hear about how much it bombs. And then luckily
I didn't even finish it. I fell asleep watching it. I
You're
don't
not
even know
missing nothing.
I don't even know if I got halfway through, and I never went back to it.
It's pretty much a setup for a sequel that's never going to happen.
Yeah,
and I think the aliens would come back, but it just wasn't a good movie, right? I mean,
no,
they come back with better virus protection.
Good God, the bomb here. Then here we go. Here's what the bait is.
Explosions.
See, but no, he stayed for the final act, so now it feels like, okay, now this is where we can truly go.
This is the most reserved Bay probably will ever be.
Yeah.
And he really, really believes he can make a better movie now out of this. That's
I remember this in the theater when this dude just got blown through the back of this fucking frame here and shit. Like, just some of the stunt work in this scene is amazing.
Well, it helps that they actually got to use an actual warehouse and make it look like, not rather than just have like a random blank platform that's CG'd and jumping off that, falling off that he's actually on. Stuff like that. Those little things do make the difference. I'm just saying, Fuck, man. Yeah, no, and fuck, man is right. And if I remember, Lawrence's last line before he taught is, "You forgot your boarding pass."
Yeah, he got the cool line.
No ticket.
Maybe Human is saying maybe they killed them off, or they wanted to cast the son in the movie in Independence Day. And, I think there was something about that too, like if I remember right. Yeah,
I thought it was more scheduling conflict than anything, but yeah.
Jesus, maybe I'm, me. It's just like it was one of those stories that made sense to be one flick. Why bother?
I agree.
Yeah, it didn't make sense. Like, should have just left it alone. Like, at least when Jurassic Park came out, I'm like, okay, I could see there being a sequel to that. Obviously they have not been as good since, but I can see why they at least thought of the idea. Independence Day, it never was a thought to begin with. And I was thinking about sequels when I was a kid, and I remember thinking, this is a cool movie. We don't need a follow-up. And God, did they even have the same director for it?
Yeah, but it's just... honestly, though, it's one of those movies where the window had passed. Like, you almost had to do it within so many years of the first movie, or it's kind of pointless. Yeah,
it's like the Avatar movies coming out.
Yeah. I don't
20 years later,
unless there's some gimmick, and I have heard some rumors about it, something going on with it that might, but like unless it's something that really captures people like the 3D did, I don't see Avatar 2 hitting near the heights.
Yeah, how old is the first Avatar now?
2009?
Yeah, it's almost 20 years.
I didn't even like the first Avatar.
Well, 12, 15, almost 15 years or whatever, yeah.
Well, the VR blew, or the 3D blew people away too, especially if you saw it in IMAX, like, high end. Yeah. It was pretty wild. I didn't think the story was that great. I did love, some of the special effects and was flying gunship helicopters I loved. But, it was just a pretty.
Yeah, there
you
was
know,
some cool stuff in it for
cool
sure.
stuff. Yeah, but the 3D blew people. Now 3D is dead now too, right? So
For
I
the
mean,
most part, yeah.
pretty much, right? Unless they come
No,
with some
I've
great
heard
new
he's
stuff.
got some other gimmick with this one, but I have not heard exactly what it is.
Smell-o-vision.
I don't know. See, it's underwater, so it's hard to say. Like, and
I'll
I
be right
seen
back,
it,
guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
and I seen some still from it, and it looks like shit. And I'm just like, they're expecting people to buy this stuff now. This looks like a Pixar movie.
Yeah.
And this is a still image. Oh, this is the stunt I was talking about.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah,
What a fly.
yeah. But like, yeah, like the it's a
Sasha
still image,
Fisher.
and usually a still image in CGI looks a lot better than in motion.
Mhm.
So if you can't sell me in a still image, then that's not good.
Yeah, it should look.
Yeah,
should look better.
that's definitely a big red flag. That should be like the shit that sells you, like for real. That should be like your selling point. Oh, hey, look, that looks cool, and that's something even with like a lot of the Marvel Disney Plus shows. A lot of them look when you have a still shot, you're like, oh boy, that doesn't look good at all. You can tell it's a room of CG, or even with Book of Boba, like you're seeing a lot of these rooms, like this is very obvious. And it's weird because I used to think early on, the early Flash and Arrow shows, I used to think that the CG looked good, and either they decreased it or I just started thinking it looked like shit later on before
I think they
stopped
cut
watching.
the budget later.
Oh, did they really?
I mean, just a guess because I agree it did end up not looking as good, in my opinion too. But I guess too you get jaded too because some of the CGI is so awesome today. But then again, you get some really when you see really crappy CGI, it just sticks out so much. But like Superman's been pretty good on the CW, some of the CGI. But it's of course I'm a generation I was watching the Spider-Man on the Spider-Man TV show on CBS, and he shot his web shooter once a week. That was the budget they had for that. So I mean, pretty much anything looks good to me. But
kind of like with the Hulk, you knew you can almost time when he was going to turn into the Hulk.
Yeah, at the last 5 minutes.
The first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes. Yep.
Yeah.
And maybe once in the middle if they had the budget for that week.
I think one of my friends were like, "Do you see Spidey shot his web shooters twice this week?" It's like, and the guy's crawling up the stuntman's going up the side of the building, with his hands not touching. It's but for the
that
70s,
blew our
it was
fucking
good.
minds as kids, though.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah. But
now we're spoiled.
Like one thing I don't remember a hell of a lot as a kid, but I do remember that first time when I was sitting in front of that TV screen and Superman fucking took off, and I saw Superman fly.
Oh God, yeah.
Like
Christopher Reeves, right? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, like I'm like that's
Superman. That blew people away when you came out of the movie theater. You're like,
I didn't even get to see it in the theater. I got to see it on TV.
Yeah,
right. But to me, it was just as real as could be.
But imagine being on the big screen as a little kid, my 10-year-old seeing that,
yeah,
and
blow your fucking mind. Right?
Yeah, you're like, because it looked so real, and it was all practical effects. It's green screens, and like, who's got me? Who's got you? And even my parents were like, not. My mom was like, that movie was so amazing, and she could care less about superheroes.
And that's the thing with this whole. We come right back full circle with this stagecraft shit, right? Like we've spent so many years trying to get away from rear projection and all these other weird kind of things. We've gone right back to rear projection.
Back to square one.
Pretty much.
The Captain Marvel kids show, TV show wasn't so bad, right? Yep. A lot of practical effects. Yep. Yeah, these explosions. Yeah, these look good. And then I wonder what's faster in real life, the Porsche or the Shelby Cobra. I didn't look it up, but I wonder what the top speed of the Shelby Cobra, if it's got the 427, if it's a real. Of course, it's so easy to make.
Well, Will Smith's pretty sure which one's the faster car.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, he's Will Smith. He better know, dude. Yeah, I expect Will Smith to know. He's the one. He's Mike Lowry, man.
Yeah.
He better know. He's Mike Lowry.
Now that's how you're supposed to drive.
Oh, yeah.
So someone's got to look up if that's it's got to be hopefully it's a fiberglass kit car of the Cobra, because I'm a Mustang fan. So there's a Mustang over my left shoulder.
It's just
can't really
funny.
see it in the poster, but yeah, that would kill me if it was a real one.
It's funny seeing Lowry being terrified of his driving after all the hell he's put Marcus through. Now he's terrified of Marcus. Like once again, it shows you like where the characters have grown throughout the movie. Now you're just saying him being terrified of what he's doing next. And dude, I remember like when I first saw him, like, holy crap, is he actually gonna level that wall or like do some crazy weird like flipperoonie type of madness? And obviously we all saw how history played out with this scene, but bro, what a scene, man. Had me actually wonder if they're gonna die with them. Even though I knew it was a sequel, I was like, oh, maybe somehow, maybe that's a prequel or something. Bad Boys 2 would be a prequel. Obviously, it ended up being an actual sequel, but it's just like the scene puts you on the edge, man. That's once again, that's what happens when you're in an era of tension sakes, not when you know everyone's got 5 movies ahead of the contract, so you know that the character has to live to fulfill the 5-movie deal. So you kill that tension line. It almost feels like they should like keep those contract stuff nowadays disclosed, just to bring back the element of suspense a little. I mean, I miss that.
Yep.
Just saying. So, and go ahead, Mark.
I was gonna say the Shelby Cobra, the racing one, top speeds 155, 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. So I think it'd be a pretty tight race. So
you just said this is a faster car. This is a faster fucking car.
Yeah. Yeah, it depends how the Ford is tricked out, but yeah, no, that's what's so fun about this movie, right? Because you got the old car and the classic, classic versus the new Porsche. That's the cool car now. And then you're like, oh, he's gonna trash it. You're like, oh no.
Because you guys were talking about how they had to kind of work around the ending here, and I'm trying to remember what the original ending was supposed to be now. Because it was something a little different. I'm trying to.
I never looked into it, so I couldn't tell you. All I know is I like this ending, and I don't know how there was a fight between Will Smith and Michael Bay over saying "I love you." I mean,
I think I kind of get it because it's how Mike is presented,
All right,
and he would think it's a little too, at that time, gay.
Oh, was that a camera shadow in that shot?
I think so. I think you did catch a camera shadow.
Go back and check.
Yeah, go ahead and go back.
I'm pretty sure that was. I was thinking the same fucking thing.
Wait, where?
Right
oh, yeah,
there.
right there. Yep. Hey, give Mark some points for the screen grab.
Wow. And good eye on our Echo Base man for catching that as he walks right back in.
I thought that's what it was too. Yeah.
Well, you got to catch those Vespa shadows. So
maybe humans as you found the blooper.
There were several filming mistakes in this of where they would walk into a building, it would be daylight, they'd walk out a few minutes later and it would be nighttime, stuff like that. That happened a couple different times in this movie.
Yeah, I noticed that as we're watching with the still frames, especially, that there's some inconsistency that I never noticed before just because of how cut.
It happened in the Book of Boba Fett too. One of the recent episodes, I think it always happens like just before battle. I don't know, could be mixing it up, but it always seems like it goes dark, in like 5 minutes. Yeah.
But a lot of that's because they didn't really have the ability to digitally manipulate this shit yet. So, like this scene looks as orange as it is, probably because they shot it at that just right time of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, golden hour. Yep, they wait for that sunlight to be perfect, and then that's the only shot they got, right?
And they got the poster shot out of it.
Yeah, they did. And that shot obviously became the poster, became the VHS and the DVD and the Blu-ray sales.
Even the soundtrack right there,
yeah. Album cover. Yeah,
the cavalry always comes in once everything's already done.
Of course.
They never come in earlier.
That's how it always works. Right at that time, too. Like just on cue.
Yeah.
Ain't that convenient.
Come on, she's looking buff for a chick, though.
Yeah, she's got those short skirts on him.
But she's not female Thor buff.
No.
That I feel like is more.
How's she looking now? Have you seen pictures of female Thor? Have they leaked any? Or
I saw one about a year ago, and it was really like nasty looking, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. So I didn't want to look at it ever again. Then I saw her, just like, no, and it's nothing against Natalie Portman. It's just
in the comic, she switches from Jane Foster to Thor or whatever you want. Thor, but it's like two totally different people. So how they explain Natalie Portman being all buff all of a sudden.
Well, the rumor is they're gonna. I've heard that apparently she got blipped, and when she blipped and came back, apparently she got cancer as a side effect from the blip. So that's the word on the street. But whatever happens there.
Yeah, we'll see. Good.
I don't.
Did you expect this to? Yeah, you knew the bad guy wasn't done here, right? When you
Oh,
watch it the
yeah.
first
Of course
time,
not.
right?
You can't let him
Yeah.
live.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, this movie doesn't avoid every cliche. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, that's part of its charm is that it is that quintessential '80s movie, but it's also like, even though it's made in the '90s, but like,
Yeah. What kind of gun is that with the 4 chambers?
it's a Tarantino special.
Yeah, that looks.
I have no idea, to be honest with you.
Someone in the chat will
Tarantino
help us. Yeah.
Special.
Nick, where you at?
I don't know what kind of gun that is.
I'm gonna look it
Oh.
up. But the name on it, maybe.
What
is it?
What is it? What gots to know?
Evidently, you only get
All right,
you
chat.
load
Help
it
us
one
out.
way.
Help us, not non-experts who are being normies
Like a
on this
hand
piece.
cannon. Look at that fucker.
It's a COP 357 Derringer.
Oh,
And how's the trigger work? There's 2 triggers, and there's like a trigger next to each, like 4 triggers in that. Or?
No, I think it fires in sequential, like a
Ah,
certain
like a-
order.
2 and 2
Or one
or
all
1
around.
1 1 1.
Yeah, I think it's one. You can pull it 4
That's
times.
fancy then. Wow.
But yeah, it just flips down right there at the front, and then you load them in.
Load them like an over under kind of.
Yeah, you can see
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a cool looking gun. I have to say.
no, it's badass, man. It's a badass looking weapon. It's just not. I didn't know something like that existed, but. So okay, so as this movie's starting to get to its end credits, I guess we can chat. I'll have the chat give out their scores, and for those who are not familiar in the chat, we have 1 out of 10 in toxicity, where you rate this movie toxicity, and 1 out of 10 in greatness. And well, I'll have our panel do that while the chat sends out their scores. Mark, why don't you sign off on your scores?
All right, so yeah, fun movie, still holds up today. Yeah, great buddy cop flick movie, which I like. Always the bad guy gets in the end, right? So yeah, it's a good drinking movie too. If you're hanging out, which I probably did in the first time I watched it with the buds, drinking beer and just watching this, having a good time. So I give it like a 9.2, I think. And toxic, I would say, God, Taylor, all these characters toxic. The bad guys are toxic, but it's not overly. It's not overly toxic. I'm gonna go with like a 6 on the toxic level. I would say it's not. It's definitely a guy flick. Even though the ladies, ladies are kick ass, and I guess you got Mad would probably say there's an extremely toxic wife in here that's always nagging Marcus. So maybe that would. I don't know. I'm trying to do it. Would Mad put this like as a 10 on toxicity because he's not here? We'll have to ask him.
I think he'd be extremely hard on this one, to be honest with you. As much as he may like it, if he does, I think you're right. I think he would see a lot of the stuff you're talking about, and really, it would really get to him.
We'll get to him. So I'm a happily married man, so I'm going to give it a 5. But maybe the nagging would add it up. But yeah, no. If you haven't seen this, I think everyone in the chat obviously has seen this. But go check it out if you haven't.
All right, and before we pass on to our next man, RC from the NYC says one of the best action flicks out of the '90s, 9 out of 10. Boosh McFadden says you threw your vet in the hall naked.
I was right. It was Yvette. Yeah.
Yeah. Toxicity. So he gives a 10 out of 10 for the toxicity. Okay, so all right, Chet, keep those scores coming. There's still 20 of you in there, so let's see more of those scores. We got 2 of them. Let's see more of those toxicity and greatness scores. And now our guest, Mr. Nick, why don't you tell us? Give us your toxic score. Where do you rate this in toxic male greatness, and where do you rate this as a movie as a whole from 1 to 10? Those are the 2 scores and how they are defined.
Toxicity, I say 10 out of 10 for sure.
Oh, do you got
10
an
out of
argument
10
for that?
on toxicity. It's just this is one of those just good guy action flick movies like Die Hard or Beverly Hills Cop. I put it up there with those. Overall, I give it a 9 out of 10. It's not a perfect movie, but it's one of the great action flicks from the 90s without question in my mind. And it's just a fun popcorn flick. It's got good humor with mixed in with some seriousness. It's got a good story, good acting, good directing on Michael Bay's part, for his first directorial debut. And I love the movie all the way around.
All right, killer, awesome, and great. And in a score and greatness, did I miss the score and greatness?
The score on greatness, 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
All right, 9 out of 10, killer. All right, awesome. And now, Mr. Midnight's Edge of the radio and the After Dark and in the morning himself, the man who's just everywhere, and we love him for spreading himself everywhere like he does. Tom.
Well, I remember reviewing this in the school newspaper at the time when it came out, along with Tommy Boy, and at the time I was enamored with it, and it holds up well. Great story, great action. As we've been saying throughout, it's Michael Bay probably at his best at this point. I give them. It's hard to give the movie not a perfect 10 out of 10, but I'd have to say 9 out of 10 just because. But it's the originality of it, just the way, the fact that it was unexpected and just came at a great time and perfect timing. Middle of the 90s, just everything kind of clicked with it. As far as the toxicity, honestly, I wouldn't say the movie is nearly as toxic as some of the other films we've watched so far in here you guys have talked about.
Okay.
But it does feel like, because like Nick and Mark were saying, it does have that guy kind of, thing going in, just some of the stuff with Mike and Mark playing Mike and all, just the whole thing surrounding it adds an extra number to that. So like, even though Mad would probably argue with me right now if he was here, I have to acknowledge, I would still say it's pretty high up there, like at least an 8, if not a 7.
Okay. Hey, that's higher than what I'm about to give it.
They got the 2 lightning bolts, and after this, there was only 1. No, that's true. He did. He took the other lightning bolt out after Don died.
Yep. And they were, that team together. I mean, like as you were saying before, Tom, they produced so many amazing.
He was a classic. Like he was a man who lived on cocaine and money.
Yeah.
He died. He lived cocaine. But I mean, he's a quintessential guy when we talk about why can't these guys just be all about cocaine and capitalism? Right? These are the movies why we say that.
Yeah, no, I agree. And Boosh McFadden says I gotta go 10 out of 10 overall. Hardcore explosive 80s flick with alpha males, hot chick, vulgar and rude dialogue, 10 out of 10 toxicity. Ooh, he's committed to that toxicity score. And Altus gives it a 9 and a 9 for both scores. Cool. Maybe Human says 9 out of 10, one of the best 90s flicks. Don't know how to rate toxic since I'm not a snowflake as Asia. I give it 2 out of 3 degree burrs on the mad scale and 10 out of 10 on toxicity. And yes, it is good old fun cinema that Hollywood cannot and will not make today. And Mr. Steven Otten says movie A, toxicity 8.5. No, well, you got some high scores today on the toxicity on this one. I'm actually surprised. So
look at all the representation in this movie too.
Oh yeah, it was
right. Like
genuinely diverse flick.
You even had that scene with the disabled basketball team.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're like out of nowhere either. It's like, it kind of makes sense. They're just coming down the road. They're going to play a game or whatever. Like, they're just there, but they don't sit there and stop the movie to make a big deal out of it like they would now, right? And just the fact that it's a very diverse cast throughout.
Yeah, no, it's a genuinely and you got 2 leading badass black men who are both being cops. One of them who has a very suburban home life, the nuclear family element too. Very, very successful dad. Obviously,
another
rarity,
really nice
house. So you see them portrayed in a great light, and they got obviously Lowry's character being the pimp daddy, who's the player. Like, so they're not just being depicted. But
even though he's a bachelor, he's got his shit together. Oh,
he does.
It's kind of
good at what he does.
Baby, but still.
Not
He's
like
good.
Lethal Weapon, right? Where Mel
Right,
Gibson's
right.
character is a train wreck. Yeah.
Well, let's not forget he's not only good at what he does, but like I mentioned earlier on the stream, he's loyal to his friend. Like, yeah, he's the type of guy who wants to go out and do what he wants or get with the girls, but he does have his lines with his best friends. Like he'll say, "Hey, no, he's off limits. I don't go that route." That's where I say no, Scott. So that's cool. That's back. And yes, maybe human to answer your question is being messy. We embrace toxicity here. I mean, you must be new to the terminology here. A lot of people in the chat are very familiar. We embrace toxicity. I see Zach's what's up on Deleted Scene says the more toxic the better. And speak of power producers, shift gears. Yes, I do. All right, Peter, Ivan. I know
I
for
almost,
real.
you know what, dude? Since this is not even remotely close, to my place to do this, I for a half a heartbeat thought about suggesting to you about doing Stripes this week, but then you told me you already had picked this movie. So I was like, shit, I can't ask you to do that because of this. But like, yeah, I
would love to do a Stripes.
like,
panel.
I feel like just like for for Ivan, like it was like,
yeah,
it's such a manly fucking movie. I mean, come on.
No, maybe
It's the best cooking scene ever.
Right?
I think I might do it for the week after what I have for next week. I'm thinking about that.
Cool.
So
Cool. Yeah,
yes.
let me know, man, because
yeah. So okay, so the final score for me, I'm gonna go with I'll probably go with like a 7.5 toxicity. Obviously, he had some badass man being obviously badass,
training, sir.
doing badass shit, living rockstar lives. Even though one's got the suburban life, he's still playing Mike Lowry being the badass. So you gotta give him credit there, and he makes it fun and ridiculous and shamelessly over the top. And yes, RC Stripes is a man's man. Yeah, that's why it needs to be a toxicity.
You can't leave. The plant will die.
Ivan needs his own month. You know what? Maybe that's something we
That's
can think
true.
about.
You know what? Not junior, but twins. That maybe
Twins.
Ghostbusters.
Yes.
He's got to have something else that we can probably come up with.
Maybe we could do a month
Heavy
of
Metal.
Right
What the
Men.
fuck am I thinking?
Heavy Metal, the most
Jesus
toxic
Christ.
movie of all
Yeah,
time.
right? Fuck yes.
I'd have to be
man.
careful clipping that one though.
Very careful.
You got to be very careful. Yes.
Some things are worth fighting for, though. But anyways, as I
We'll just
fought,
play. We'll play the music. Screw Nick's channel, right? We got Heavy Metal. Sorry, Nick. Yeah, but
no, it's okay.
Take a
So
ride.
7.5 for toxicity. I'm gonna go with a 9.1 on the movie on its own merits. Obviously it's a badass action flick that it's got a very simple, straightforward, but well executed story. And it still looks great, and it's still super entertaining from beginning to end. Even with being nearly 2 hours, it all makes sense. It all comes together, and there's some minor flaws and inconsistencies, but it's nothing that's going to take away from how great the movie is. It's just like, oh hey, look, I spotted a camera there. Or, hey, look, that's day or night now from where this was a minute ago. So yeah, there's those minor consistencies, but I'd rather have that be the worst problems of my issues with the movie. That's a good thing. That's what we want to be arguing about and nitpicking. If that's what your nitpicks are, that's a good thing. So
Like the
I'm
most
all in on
glaring
that.
one I think I noticed was right when they had the ultimate Michael Bay scene and they're laying on the ground. They show the shot twice. The first shot of the bad guys getting away, it's an orange sunset shot. They jump back to them, and then they cut back to the empty street where they got away, and it's like the middle of the day again.
Yeah.
I never noticed that till tonight with the pictures flash. Like it just because of how the movie's cut, right? It's just and Michael Bay coming from music videos that shows like. He had famously done like I'd Do Anything for Love and a couple of other huge fucking music videos that were some of the most expensive music videos at that time. So.
And stay tuned. I have a comedy month we're going to do. That will be for a comedy month. So stay tuned. All right. It's going to be great. But yeah, those are my scores. And before we plug in our channels, next week's flick for Toxic Tuesday is Major League. I've been wanting to do Major League for a while. It is going to be absolutely fantastic. And it's just a great, badass baseball movie. And we have yet to do something like that. And
trilogy. I don't care what anybody says.
I see. I never saw sequels to this day, so I couldn't answer that.
I think the third one's underappreciated.
What?
I do. I really do. I feel like it was a little hidden gem that people didn't really notice when it came out, but it's got some pretty solid laughs in it, and it's got Scott Bakula and some of the familiar faces. But no, I felt like it was a lot better than people give it credit for. And the second one's not too bad. I mean,
I don't know if
Here
I
we
ever
go.
saw the second or third one either.
The
now that I
second
think about
one
it.
is kind of just the first one redo. Like it really is. It's just like basically the through plot line that really kind of is consistent is Wild Thing loses his edge because he becomes a brand and he's more worried about his longevity instead of his actual game. So then of course the whole that's really kind of what the main thing is. Yeah. The second one does have some great moments in it though.
No, honestly, I've never seen them, but maybe that's a
Hey,
conversation
time to watch
to
'em, yeah.
entertain, for a day. Maybe even watch one of them, at least number 2. So yeah, Major League will be the flick next week.
Nice.
It'll be fantastic. It's to be fun and another nice little change. I'll have some toxic
And we-
greatness as well. Go
we
ahead,
might
Mark.
not have. Well, sorry, I was going to say we might not have baseball this year with the damn strike going.
I was
on.
wondering,
Oh,
when does
yeah.
baseball even start? Yeah.
It hasn't started. They're still on strike. Well, the owners still have the
I was gonna
lockout
say,
going.
it's coming
So
close here, ain't it? But yeah.
that's not going to start on time. Yeah.
No.
Dude, damn. So, anyways, guys, that'll good for all the baseball fans. I'll help you get your fix. I'll help occupy you because we don't need all that greenness in the world. So we'll do it ourselves here at Toxic Tuesday. But anyways, we'll plug in our things. Tom.
You can find me on the YouTubes.
All right, you heard him. He's got tubes, and I don't know if they are tied or not,
They
but
are
you can
tied.
find them. All right,
So we can have all the fun you want, baby.
Oh, this is what I've always dreamed of. I mean, you're only one state away from me, so this would be like the sequel to Sex
There's an
Drive.
old barge rising down the Cuyahoga River.
Oh, train camper to have opened today. Yes, yeah. Thank you guys.
Rolling
Now Nick from Echo Base, sir.
Lake.
What do you got coming up on your channel this week?
Let's see. We don't have anything planned for our Saturday night stream. So we do one weekly Saturday night stream. I think we're gonna try to do something Thursday night for members, a members pop-in stream. Just talk, Book of Boba Fett. Are they going towards the sequels? Are they not? And just kind of let people kind of come in and voice their opinions on a lot of that stuff that's going around. Where's Star Wars going from here? That sort of thing. We are still in the middle of working on our second documentary. Our first was, of course, narrated by Doomcock, which was the Star Wars The Sequel Trilogy documentary, covering the sale of Lucasfilm to Disney all the way up until the special edition, which we added a fifth part to it, goes all the way up to the end of Mando season 2. But the one that we're working on now is narrated by Mauler. We got a rough cut of it together now.
Cool.
And it is the rise and fall of LucasArts Gaming.
Interesting.
Wow, that's a sad.
Wow, I'm actually looking forward to
X-Wing and TIE
watching
Fighter.
this.
Oh.
Yeah, and Mauler did a
Dude.
great job. We already got all his recordings back. We might have to hit him up to do a couple quick liners here or there, but for the most part, his part's done. And like I said, we got a rough cut together. We're going to start lining up a lot of other content creators that are going to be involved in it. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty good. It's gonna be pretty interesting.
Dude, awesome. Hey, I'm looking forward to it, man. That is absolutely badass. And of course, I know I said it twice, but I do appreciate you taking the time to come on with, especially when you're doing stuff like that. You have a busy schedule in your life, operate between 2 to 3 channels as well that you're operating on the daily. I appreciate it. So thank you, Nick. And hopefully someday our paths may cross again.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of, just since I got to hang out with you in Vegas, we are actually doing our first big meetup. That me and Coach will both be at the ICCC Con in Nashville, Tennessee, last weekend in April. Ian McDermott, who played the Emperor, of course, will be there. Anthony Daniels, who played C-3PO, will be there. This is a fan event. This is not a Disney thing. This is a con that's run by fans for fans, and it's in Nashville,
Nice.
Tennessee, at the end of April. And it's going to be huge. There's going to be a lot of people there. We're going to be there. A lot of our subscriber base is going to come out to it and hang out and do a big meetup. And so, yeah, it should be a fun time. But it's not just a Star Wars con. Like, they do video games, comics, toys. I mean, everything. That's tons of Star Trek, Lord of the Rings. Me and Coach met William Shatner there one year.
Awesome.
And they have a lot of big name guests that come in there. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun time. Last weekend in April, and if you just Google search ICCC Con Nashville, it'll be the very first link.
Yeah, I just
Killer.
threw it in the chat too for everyone. Yep. So
Yeah.
yeah, it looks really cool. Wish I was closer.
Man, no, that is definitely, guys, keep your eyes and ears open for that. It looks like a jolly good time. That looks freaking awesome. Seriously, awesome, dude. I have to consider see what my schedule can do to line up with that. Awesome, dude.
Yep, and it's over a weekend, so
Woo!
and it's still 2 months away, so people still got time to plan if you guys want to, if anybody wants to try to come out.
All right, killer. You heard him, guys. Nick from Echo Base Network. Thank you, sir.
Nice.
Last but not least, Mark D with a C. Plug
Thank
away,
you.
sir. What do you got coming out
plug
this
away.
week?
Yep. So I had a couple of short videos out this week, and Sunday night I have a show, Sunday Night Geekery. So I'd love to have everyone, swing by there, and it's just a general discussion, what's going on in the week. Talking Boba Fett. And this week we talked a lot about Jack Reacher, and whatever's happening, and who knows wherever the chat takes us. That's a lot of fun. Clobbering Times is always on there with me. Sometimes you pop in, Nick. So it's a fun Sunday night discussion show. And Thursday night I'm on with Clobbering Times and Raquel, Clobby's Clubhouse. And just check out my channel. I just did I did Fantastic Four Funko. So Clobbering Times calls those dust collectors, but they're Fat Steven's favorite. So just check out that video and other short videos. And as you can see from my background, got a few toys here. So love doing those toy videos and 3D printing videos and things like that. So appreciate being here. As usual, great time. Makes Thursday night toxic and awesome. So thank you.
All
Nick.
right. Yeah, my pleasure. And guys, Mark's channel is in the caption as well. I have his channel plugged in as I always do for Toxic Tuesday. So when you look in the caption, his link is there. So go ahead and give him a subscribe. He is nearing at 200 subs as well. So
Yeah,
let's
gotta
help
get to
our
that
guy
200,
get there. Let's help our guy get there. One more sub at a time. And anyways, last but not least, once again, chat, thank you as always for coming back. I see a lot of familiar faces. Thank you as always. And see a few new faces that came here and hung around for a good portion of the time. I thank you as well. That's awesome. Look forward to seeing you back here. Hopefully you loved what you saw with Toxic Tuesday. Be back here for Major League. It'll be great. And yes, I have a new video about why the Oscars is a big circle jerk fest. If Eddie Cass edited it, you want to watch it. You really want to watch it. So there's also a great Mickey Mouse rant I've done, and also about does J-Lo's love really cost a thing? So you want to watch all these recent videos.
You're doing a good. Your Mickey Mouse voice is awesome, Nick. I love it.
Thank you.
It's great.
Thank you.
It's like you actually hired the actor.
So I wait till you see my Macho Man videos coming out. So
Nice.
It's gonna be great. And yeah, good night, delete scenes, and thank you, RC, and thank you for your constant support. Yeah, we'll see you all next week. I also got the comic shop talk as well Friday night. And I got Macho Man videos I'm working on for Yeti Cast to put together, so keep your eyes and ears open for that. Meanwhile, until those things are out, check out my current new videos I got. Until then, good night